probabilities as the tournament unfolds. Whether your bracket is busted or you're on the way to the top of your leaderboard, bring your strategy to your trades in real time. Get started by downloading the Webull app today or visiting Webull.com. Event contract trading is speculative and may not be suitable for all investors. Customers should carefully consider the associated risk before investing. Visit Webull.com/disclosure.
This is Kurt Egelman. Does your business need more customers? If you said no, congratulations. If you said yes, then you need to consider advertising your products and services. People need to know you exist, and then why your business is worth considering to spend their money with. You also need to advertise to the right audience. For example, sports talk listeners have disposable income. They own homes, they're employed, and they earn six-figure incomes. And importantly, sports talk listeners listen longer, so your advertising message has more opportunity to be heard. Does your business need more customers? If the answer is yes, then give me a call to schedule a conversation. We'll discuss your objectives, talk about potential strategies, and also determine if Fox Sports Radio is a good station for you to consider. Call me, 916-779-0914. Radio gets results, and we are here to help. Call 916-779-0914.
Just outside of Sacramento is a place where families build friendships that last a lifetime. The Golden State Shooting Center is a clay target shooting facility. It's the home of numerous local high school and youth sport shooting teams. Skeet and trap shooting is a safe, exhilarating sport. School team members can compete for numerous college scholarship opportunities. Teams are being formed now, and new members are welcome. Call the Golden State Shooting Center for details or visit them online at goldenstateshootingcenter.com. If you've been shocked by your increasing utility bills, we get it. Energy rates in California are crazy. So at Sierra Pacific, we're introducing our 10-10-20 Home Energy and Comfort Program. It's called 10-10-20, and it works like this. Our HVAC techs will come out and install a new home comfort system in your home now. You'll get 10 years to pay for the system, a 10-year warranty on that system, and 20% off the cost. That's 10-10-20. And Spud customers can get rebates up to $3,000. With summer almost here, now's the time to call or visit SierraPacificHome.com and ask about our 10-10-20 promotion. With over 1,700 five-star reviews, we've proudly installed over 20,000 home comfort systems. If it's time for an HVAC system replacement, call or visit us at SierraPacificHome.com.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air, the guys in the big red trucks.
Get the best. Bridgestone tires are engineered to keep your world moving, and that's what really matters. Now through March 31st, buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires and get $80 back on a Bridgestone prepaid MasterCard. Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. For the best selection in Bridgestone tires, get to Expert Tires and Brakes at 5810 Auburn Boulevard. Expert Tires and Brakes. Save big and get their 60-minute install guarantee. Expert Tires and Brakes, 5810 Auburn Boulevard. That's Expert Tires and Brakes.
Call the good dudes at Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Homeowners, if you have an electrical project you need done, then you need the good dudes at Gabrudes. Family owned and operated for 30 years, Jay Gabrude and his team are the area's recognized experts for everything electrical, from the very basic like repairs, lighting upgrades, and whole house fans, to the biggies, panel replacements, EV stations, and backup generators. Gabrudes does it all and does it right the first time. They're actually the guys their competition recommends. Gabrudes, expert 5-star service and always transparent, honest prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Visit Gabrudes.com or call 24/7 and speak with a real live person. Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S, Gabrudes.com.
The voice of Sacramento sports is back.
Hear Grant Napear every weekday beginning at 3 right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento. Hello, Sacramento.
Sacktown.
And welcome in.
Grant Napear.
How you been?
You know this guy.
It's your show.
So happy to hear you on the airwaves.
Time to begin.
2+ decades on the radio with you.
Just the start of an incredible journey.
Now he's back on Fox Sports 104.7 FM and 890 AM.
3 to 6 every day, Fox Sports Sacramento.
The phone number?
916-779-0929.
His name? Grant Napear.
And a good afternoon, everybody. I hope you are doing well. Coming up on the show today, Mike Pereira from the NFL on Fox. Things are not looking good with the NFL officials. So much so that the NFL is making contingency plans already to replace the officials. This thing is getting ugly. What impact that's going to have on you, the viewer? Well, what do we complain about every Monday on this show? Calls, right? Don't we talk about it often? And I've always gone down this road. I think we appreciate the officials more when we don't have them. And you have other officials on the field. And then you're like, wow, those officials were pretty good. Like right now, Major League umpires are getting torched because of the new ABS replay system. I don't have a problem with the system. I'm not in love with it. What I have a problem with are the pitches that are like a millimeter one way or the other, which makes the umpires look bad. Now, if it's an egregious missed ball or strike, I get it. Give the ump a hard time. But you're thinking about a pitch coming 95 or 100 miles an hour with movement, sliders, breaking balls, catchers framing pitches. And a lot of the replays, there's hardly any daylight between the ball and the box they're using to determine whether it's a strike or a ball. And it's making the umpires look bad. It really is. So we'll talk more about that. But Mike Pereira, the NFL on Fox, is going to be coming up to talk about the NFL official situation, their labor agreement, which is going to expire at the end of the month or the end of next month. So this thing's getting pretty dicey with the NFL season. It will be here before you know it. Then, of course, Sean Salisbury after Grant's Rant coming up at 5 o'clock. All right, where are the Kings going to finish in the NBA standards? And there are a couple of things to note. Brooklyn plays tonight at home against Charlotte. The Kings play tomorrow against Toronto, okay? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is when you look at the standings, Brooklyn, Washington, and Indiana all have a game in hand, which is not good at this point. And the reason for that is Indiana and Washington already have 58 losses. The Kings have 57. And if Brooklyn loses tonight, they also will have 58 losses. The Kings have 57. Washington and Indiana with the game in hand, you have to figure they're going to lose. I mean, you would figure that there's no way Indiana's going to win 2 games in a row at this juncture of the season. So if you assume that they're both going to lose, that will be 59 wins. And then if the Kings lose tomorrow, that's 58 or 50, not wins, losses. That's 50, right? One more loss for Washington, one more loss for Indiana. Okay? And the reason why I'm talking about this is if you look at the Kings schedule and you look at how they're playing, and if Washington and Indiana with the game in hand lose, that's 59 losses. The Kings tomorrow, they lose 58. Okay? And we're running out of time here. We're running out of time. After this road trip, there are 5 games left. It's looking more and more like the Kings are going to end up with the 4th worst record in the NBA. Now, could that change? Obviously, it could change. We're talking about 1 game. But that, all of a sudden, can get pretty dicey if you get a bad bounce of the ball here or there in New York when they do the lottery coming up in May. Again, a game in hand right now for those teams. Not good because you got to figure they're going to lose those games. Give me a call, 916-779-0929. All right, Tiger Woods. I'm going to say this about Tiger Woods. I don't know what happened with his accident of last week. I wasn't there. You weren't there. I saw the video. I'm reading the police reports. Regardless of whether Tiger Woods, who pleaded not guilty today, is going to get off on this, meaning nothing's going to happen to him, or he's going to be severely punished, I think it's very apparent that the guy has got some type of problem as it relates to pain medication. I don't really even think that's debatable at this point. I'm not privy or qualified to talk about to what degree he might have an issue. And quite frankly, it's none of my business. But what I am concerned about as a viewer of sport is the Masters, which is going to be next weekend at Augusta. And I'm very curious to see how, in particular, Jim Nantz and the CBS golf team is going to handle the coverage around Tiger Woods, because there was a press conference yesterday, and we know how Augusta pretty much dictates how media coverage is going to go at their event. Always has been, always will. That's just the way it is. If Tiger is not involved in the Masters, and I can't imagine how he would be, does CBS do they just ignore it? Should they ignore it? I mean, their job is to cover the Masters, correct? If Tiger Woods is not at the Masters in any way, shape, or form, including the winner's dinner on Wednesday night, which will be hosted, obviously, by Rory McIlroy, Tiger had planned and said that he would be there as recently as last week. He made it very clear he would be there. I can't imagine him going there now. And I can't imagine Augusta wanting him there now. Why would they want that distraction, that media coverage, regardless of whether they try to control it or not? There are many other members of the media in addition to their broadcast partners of CBS, et cetera. I just wonder if this is going to be totally ignored next week. I can't imagine Tiger being at Augusta for any of the golf on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Quite frankly, after watching him play last week in the, whatever is the golf simulated indoor event, and watching him walk, I can't imagine how he would have played anyway. I mean, that is a very difficult golf course to walk. As a matter of fact, of all of the golf courses that I've been to, with maybe the exception of the Plantation course in Kapalua, which you can't walk anyway. And the reason why it would take forever, well, when I say you can't walk, let me put it to you this way. The PGA golfers, they do walk, but there are golf carts that take them from certain green to certain tees because the walk is just too far. So let me back up. You can walk it, but the only people that do walk it are the PGA professionals at the event every year, and they didn't have it this year because of the lack of rain, and the golf course was not playable, so they had to move the event. But the walk from green to tee on some of the holes would take forever, and I'm not exaggerating. But back to Augusta. It is not an easy golf course to walk. I walked it several times just to be there and experience it. And I'm not saying I was laboring, but I would tell you that watching Tiger Woods walk indoors last week, I was saying to myself, there's no way he's going to be playing at the Masters. No way. I don't think he could do it. Plain and simple. I don't think he could have done it. So I want to know, how is CBS going to handle this? What's the coverage going to be like? I'd be I just don't think Tiger Woods is going to show up at all, nor should he. At this point in his life, he should stay away. And as far as the details of his arrest and everything, I got to be honest with you. I don't even care. I hope that he gets the help that he needs. But in terms of like what he said he was doing, looking at his phone, blah, 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 I don't care. I really don't. You know, this is somebody that has been receiving a pass after pass after pass after pass from those in the world of golf, on the tour, in the broadcast booths, in the media, during his press conferences. He's been receiving an incredible amount of latitude. And we talked about this on the show last week with Ryan about the notion that we turn our head the other way when it comes to athletes of certain standards. And we turn our heads if you have a bad individual participating in your team because that individual helps your team win. And even if it goes against every fabric of your being, you turn your head the other way because that helps your team win. Sad, but it happens to be true. In this particular instance with Tiger Woods, he needs to stay away, including the dinner, in my opinion, next Wednesday at Augusta. That's just my opinion. That's the way I look at it. So what if his ego wins and he decides to play and plays really well? As much as we're talking about Tiger Woods, I would say the chances of that happening are basically nil. After watching him play last week indoors in that event, just on a golf simulator, I would say there's no way in the world. And I'm not talking about hitting the golf ball. That would not be the issue. The issue would be walking and making it through. I don't see any way he could do it. He has an invite, right? So he can play if he chooses. He's got an exemption. He can play if he wants. Absolutely. Every single person in his camp is going to be telling him not to play, including those at Augusta. They're going to be imploring him. And I do not think, okay? You know, I'm looking at, I do not think in any way, shape, or form he could play physically. And I don't think he would even attempt now to be bringing that distraction, because this is what it would be now. It would be a distraction to everyone playing in the tournament, and they deserve better. They do not deserve that. They deserve a tournament without Tiger Woods. That's the reality. They do not need the distraction. They should not be asked questions. You know, they don't want to have to go through that. You think Scottie Scheffler wants to spend 15 minutes talking about Tiger Woods? You think Rory McIlroy, as he's getting ready to defend his title, wants to be talking about Tiger Woods for 15 minutes? It's just the way it is.
But if
go ahead.
If CBS cuts out moments of the Masters from Tiger, like, you know, there's always like that role of like all of the biggest moments that have happened.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. Of course, he's going to be part of it. He's part of the history.
Exactly. You can't.
Yeah, but that's
cut
not.
the history
You don't have to talk about that. That's a visual medium. I mean, if you're showing, you know, past highlights of the Masters, such as the incredible chip on the par 3 16th and the great call by Vern Lundquist, you know, that's always shown. That's shown every year. That doesn't mean you have to get into what happened to him and you have to go into the whole. I mean, it doesn't even need to be narrated. You just show it.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to make sure that line's clear. You don't bring his name up, but I think it would look twice as bad as if you tried to cut his presence.
No, they're not going to cut it out.
History
Nor should they. I don't think he should be cut out of the history of the Masters. You know, again, first of all, he has not been convicted of his arrest last week. Okay, he has been charged, but he pleaded not guilty.
And he's requested a jury trial.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but you see, all too often, we think that if he gets off, meaning if he's found not guilty by a jury or by, first of all, I don't even know why would this go to a jury? But anyway, let's assume that these charges are either dropped or he's not convicted. Let's just assume that for sake of argument. Does anybody think that he's just fine and that, the arrest was unwarranted and that the concerns and the claims of the officers were unjust and untrue? Does anyone really think that?
No, I think this would be different from Tiger's camp. I don't know that this would be played different as the previous incidents had there not been 2 hydrocodone pills found in his pocket. That to me is the silver bullet of their plan to just push forward privacy. We're going to keep things because that's kind of what everybody has been worried about with him.
And if Tiger is truly not guilty, if all of this is just 100% untrue, he would show up at Augusta next week and he would probably try to play just to go, yeah, why wouldn't I? I didn't do anything wrong. All these charges are going to be proven in court that they're unjust, they're not true, and this is what happened, and I've got nothing to hide, and here I am. He's not going to do that.
No. Could you, in the middle of the night, fly in, do the dinner, and fly out?
Yes, you could. You could. Absolutely, because there's no media at the dinner.
Right.
You could.
Would you find that appropriate? I wouldn't have an issue with that.
I'll tell you why I wouldn't find it appropriate. Because it would be taking away from Rory McIlroy's night. Because everybody would be talking to Tiger. It would be, first of all, Rory and Tiger are very close. You know that, right? I mean, it's been very well documented. I just don't think it's appropriate right now. It would be. Could I see him doing it? Yes, I could see him doing it. Do I think he'll do it? I hope he does, and I hope he stays away this year. I hope he stays away. That's where I'm going with this. I hope he stays away. I hope he stays away. Hey, real quickly, well, I'm going to have you for 3 hours, but DeMar DeRozan and Malik Monk are not on the Kings injury report. How come DeMar didn't play in Brooklyn?
I don't know.
Okay.
Not going to speculate.
Oh, I know why. They wanted to lose the game. So he will play tomorrow.
Yes.
And then let's just call it the way it is. I mean, first of all, if you take DeMar DeRozan off the floor, okay, of this current roster, I would say the chances of the Kings even keeping a game close would be remote.
I agree.
So, I mean, it was pretty obvious what was going on there. Pretty obvious.
Let me give you the quote-unquote Kings possible answer. We have Daquan Jeffries on a 10-day contract. Stockton Kings getting ready to go into the playoffs. He's headed back to Stockton on assignment. So we really wanted to get a good last look at him before the playoffs.
Yeah, it's nonsense. All right. Don't forget, Mike Pereira, the NFL on Fox, 916-779-0929. Village Financial Group, real estate needs. Maybe 2026 is the year you're going to venture into the housing market where you move, you're leaving California, you're getting a promotion, whatever the case may be, right? You have to sell your home. You may be going to buy a new home, whether it's here in this area or somewhere else. Maybe you need a home equity line of credit. You better have an experienced real estate broker with you. And that's where Spencer comes in at Village Financial Group. I've been talking about Spence for a long time. I've known him for a long time, since he began his family-owned business back in 2000. Broker owner of Village Financial Group. He is very qualified. He is a financing specialist. He has access to private money. And Village Financial Group, kind of like a white glove boutique shop, where he will take you from the start line to the finish line, and any issues that come up in between, no problem. He's got it. He'll take care of it for you. Call or text Spence at 916-805-4868. And also check out the thousands of listings available at bfgloans.com. That's bfgloans.com. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. That's 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. Baseball, A's 0-4. Giants break through last night. We'll get into a little baseball talk next right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
There's a great American pastime that the entire family can enjoy together, located right outside of Sacramento. The Golden State Shooting Center welcomes you. The Golden State Shooting Center is an 80-acre clay target shooting facility. It's the home of numerous youth sport shooting teams from the region. Over 1,000 high school students from Northern California are on sport shooting teams, and 10 of the Western United States' top shooting teams train at Golden State Shooting Center. New members are being accepted now. For details, visit goldenstateshootingcenter.com.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Jackson Rancheria. Let's go.
Jackson. Grab your old jeans and flick a lighter, because Jackson's gonna be rockin' with Journey Revisited, a tribute to Journey, live April 18th. Get tickets now at jackson.com.
Jackson Rancheria. Let's go.
While you're there, make sure to check out our full tribute series lineup honoring your favorite classic rockers, the Eagles, Lynyrd Skynyrd, CCR, and more. Let's go.
Let's go.
If that's not enough, we're giving away $1,000 in free slot play Tuesdays. Just play slots with your Dreamcatchers club card, have a valid email address on file, and you'll be automatically entered to win 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Let's go.
Let's go. Luck out with cash and play at Jackson.
Jackson, 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 Jackson Rancheria.
Let's go.
Remember, always be generous with the nutmeg. Just eyeball it.
Okay.
Mom's wisdom has served you well, but now it may be your turn to guide her.
Hey, I'm worried about Mom. She keeps forgetting her famous sweet potato pie recipe.
Some things come with age, sis.
And some don't.
Knowing the early signs of Alzheimer's in a loved one will help you make the best decisions for your family. Visit 10signs.org to learn the signs. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Opening day here in Sacramento, the home opener, Friday for the A's against Houston. Are they going to have a win when they get home? 2 runs in the first game against Toronto. 2 wins in the third game against Toronto. Shutout last night in Atlanta, 4-0. So they are already 0-4. And with the exception of a 7-run game in which they lost 8-7 and 11 innings in game 2 of the season, where they were swept in Toronto, that lineup is not getting the job done. And it's early. You don't worry about it. I mean, because, you know they're going to start hitting. But they better start hitting soon. It has been a dreadful start. And again, they come home for only 3 games. That's the part of this that is really difficult. They only come home for 3 games. I don't know who made this schedule. Ryan made a good point. There's now 2 teams that are playing in the ballpark in West Sacramento. So that's part of it. But after 3 games against Houston, they get right back on the plane, fly to the East Coast again to take on the Yankees for 3, and then the Mets for 3. So they got a tough schedule. And they've got a game tonight and a game tomorrow, a matinee, and it's getaway day. And they need to get some W's. Steve Sachs expected to join me on Thursday to talk about this ahead of the opener on Friday. Giants get the first win for their rookie skipper. I think the fact that they finally got the lead, that they were able to kind of just play with the lead for the first time this week, certainly kind of calmed them down. They scored first. They put 3 on the board, and they held on to beat the Padres 3-2. And so, hey, guess what? They're not going to go 0-162. They're not going to go 0-162. I think the Giants ball club's pretty good. I really do. I think it's pretty good. I think they're going to be fine. I was watching the Dodgers game last night for a while against the Indians, and it's amazing to me how you can watch even a team like the Dodgers with that lineup get completely mowed down and manhandled by a team like Cleveland. It happens. It's baseball, It's early. It's just like the A's lineup. I look at that lineup, and I'm like, well, they're going to hit. They're too good not to hit. They're not hitting right now, but it's going to happen. All right, let's get to Austin in Rockland. Hello, Austin. How are you?
What's up, Grant?
Hey there.
Hey, so I'm with you. I'm not worried about the A's. I think that the hitting is going to start coming. Like Jacob Wilson, for instance, has been super, super unlucky. A lot of balls have been, in the hole that they've been making lucky catches on. I will say the bullpen is a lot worse than I thought. I didn't have high expectations, but, man, it's looking really, really rough.
Well, we knew that was going to be the issue. I mean, we knew what the strength of the team was coming out of spring training. The lineup, the bats, the starting pitching suspect, and the bullpen. But you're right, the bullpen is definitely shown to be an Achilles heel already early in the season. But, it's hard to win when you don't score.
I completely get it. Hey, another question for you. So with the ABS challenge starting,
yep.
I'm kind of curious, what is the point of even having the umpires anymore? If, C.B. Buckner's missing a bunch of calls and then they're switching it over, why even have the umpires?
You have to have them for a variety of reasons. Number one, they have to be able to call a foul tip, okay? They have to be able to call catcher's interference. They have to be able to call home safe on a play at the plate. All of those things. They have to manage
But they don't have to call. They don't have to call home and safe, though, because you can challenge that, though, right?
Well, then why don't you just take all the umpires off the field and have the whole damn game automated then?
That's what it seems like, though. It seems like it's just an administrative role that I don't know if there's a strong union that's preventing it from going away, but it doesn't really seem like
it's called common sense. I'm sorry. You and I are on opposite planets here. It's called common sense. You need a umpire behind home plate to facilitate the running of the game, such as the pitch clock, such as I said, foul tips, check swings, things of that nature that replay is not used for. All of the things that I just mentioned, Austin, you would need a human being at the plate to do that under the way the system is presently. You have to have a home plate umpire, don't you? Correct me if I'm wrong. How would you take the home plate umpire away from all of that?
Up until last week, we needed an umpire to call balls and strikes, right? Why couldn't that change, or why couldn't we see it change in the next few years?
You can change everything. You can take officials off the football field. You can take officials off the NBA floor. If you really want to get down to it, technology exists, Austin, where you can remove officials from sport. But is that what you want?
If we're having to reverse as many calls as we are, it just seems like having the umpires, stick his hand out and say strike it, every pitch just seems silly at this point. I get the other stuff. I get it. But if we're having the umpire have challenge plays at first base and we're going to the replay anyway, then they're just going out there calling out on an obvious ground out. It just seems silly for a lot of the time. I get the weird foul tip situations, check swings, but even that, I think, could be automated.
So why don't we have automated players too? Instead of sending out human beings to pitch and play in the field, why don't we have the technology now? Why don't we put robots on the field so that they never miss a ground ball going through their leg, they never drop a pop fly? Why don't we have robots play in the field too? Seriously, where are we going with all of this? Don't you want a human element of the game to some degree, or do you want to just remove the entire human element from the game? Where are we at with this, Austin? Where are we going with this?
My point is, if there's a lot of stuff that they're already challenging, it just seems like we have them dressed up in their cute little outfits, and we're telling them to stick their fingers out.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. Your comment bothers me, and I'm going to be very transparent here. It bothers me because I have a lot of friends that are baseball umpires, and I know their training, and I know what they do to get to the big leagues with many, many, many years in single A baseball, double A baseball, triple A baseball. Driving long distances in cars, making very little money, living in a 1-bedroom apartment. Like, I know a lot of these individuals. And you know what? Most of them are really, really, really good at what they do, including calling balls and strikes. And if you want to have an automated ball and strike system, I'll go that way with you. I'll say, okay, you know what? I'll give you that. Let's go 100% automated balls and strikes. But for you to insinuate that they are terrible at everything and they're just dressed up in little cute outfits, it's shameful on you. You should be ashamed of yourself for that comment. You really should. You should be ashamed of yourself because you have no idea what these officials, both in the NBA, not both. I know NBA officials, many of them. I know what they go through. I know many NFL officials. I actually know 2 NHL referees. I know many Major League Baseball umpires. That's a really sad comment by you. It really is. It's sad.
I mean, at some point, though, if we're seeing that they're missing this many calls, Grant, regardless of the training they've gone through, they're still missing the calls, though.
Okay, then go 100%. Go 100% balls and strikes if that's fine. Or do this, Austin. Remove the umpires that are, let's say, below a certain percentage. You come up with a number right now. I don't know it, but let's say you have 60 umpires. Okay, and let's say you have 10 that every time they're behind a plate, every 4 days, their percentages are unacceptable. Then remove them. All right, but you're not going to penalize. Listen, for instance, I don't know if you watched the Dodgers-Giants opening game on Netflix. Bill Miller was behind the plate. They only challenged twice or once, and he got it right. No one else challenged because he had called a really good game. There are umpires out there, Austin, that are really, really good at what they do in terms of calling balls and strikes. Are we just going to remove them from their occupation because there are 5 out of 60 that maybe don't do it well or should be removed? I mean, come on now.
They're bad enough that they implemented a challenge system, right? It wasn't like they were doing so good for so long.
No. Well, okay, so then how's that any different than the NBA referees or the NFL referees with the challenge system? How's that any different?
I guess it's just more common. I don't know. I'm not an NBA or NFL guy.
Well, think about it. Well, the NFL, the coaches get 2 challenges every half in the National Football or in the game in the National Football League, and in the NBA, you get the challenges too. I mean, why do you think there are challenges in? Even though you don't watch it that much, I'm telling you, there's really no different in the NFL or the NBA. I mean, there is a human element of sport.
No, I know, but how often are they missing, though? Because if you look at the clip of a lot of these umpires so far with 4 games, that would be like, measuring the the ball placement down to a fraction and realizing they're missing a whole lot and getting the challenge back. I don't know. At some point, I just think that if you're missing calls at the clip that a lot of these umpires are, then maybe there does need to be like a relegation thing, like you mentioned, or something like that. Because
maybe, but Lance Barksdale in the Giants-Padres game last night had 4 challenges, and the teams got him wrong. So he was 4 for 4. So what do we want to remove him from his job?
No. I'm definitely not saying that. There are clearly people that are doing good at their job. There are also a lot that aren't, though. So I don't know. Again,
not
maybe
a lot.
It's relegation
Not a
or
lot.
something like that.
Not a lot. Well, let me ask you: do you expect umpires to get 100% of the balls and strikes correct?
If we have a challenge system,
no.
yes.
Forget about replay. Make believe that there is no challenge system for right now. Let's go back to the old system. You, as a sports fan, somebody that loves baseball, and obviously you do, and I appreciate you calling the show. Do you expect umpires to get 100% of the balls and strikes correct?
No, I do like the controversies historically of a big missed call, but if it's implemented, we got to have standards.
I agree with you. There should be standards, and I believe that umpires should be held to certain standards, and if they're not, I believe they should be replaced. I totally agree with you on that. But if there are, let's say, 150 pitchers thrown in a game, or excuse me, if there are 150 balls and strikes, because not every pitch is a ball or a strike because they can be put in play, it can be fouled off, which is a strike, but it's not a call by the umpire. So if a home plate umpire calls 150 balls, let's say, throughout the course of a game, I'm giving you an arbitrary number, would you be okay with them missing 3 or 4? What do you think would be or 96%, 97% accuracy? Would that be okay with you? Or are you looking for 100%?
Good, but again, I mean, missing a close strike in the third inning versus, ending the World Baseball Classic with a pitch 4 inches low. They're just situationally.
Well, that's not
different.
true. It wasn't 4 inches low. And also the catcher had a huge influx on how that was called with the way the catcher framed it. So you and I are on different planets here with this. That's okay. I understand what you're saying. And I'm going to concede with you. I'm going to compromise with you. I'm okay if you want to go to 100% balls and strikes, but you can never remove the home plate umpire because they have too many other duties back there.
I guess. I don't know how many duties there actually are, but I get it. Yeah.
There are. Well, I gave you a lot of the examples of what a home plate umpire does. I mean, there are a lot of responsibilities that a home plate umpire has besides just calling balls and strikes.
But is that just because that we just let them continuously have it? At the end of the day, a check swing can be done by camera. There can be a sensor on a bag to call.
Then have the whole damn sport. But as I said, have the whole damn sport reviewed by a camera. Get all the umpires off the field, eliminate their jobs, and just have nobody on the field except for the players, and have cameras control your sport. If that's what you want, go for it. Go for it. If that's not the type of sport that I'm going to watch, I'm not watching a sport like that. I love the human element. I like the human element. I love it. It's part of sport.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want the human element to take away the best team winning, though. And at some point, if you're missing calls, why would we not just have it 100% at that point?
Well, if you want the human, if you don't want the human element to cost teams win, then Boozer shouldn't have been on the floor for Duke because he cost his team the win. I mean, aren't we talking about the same thing?
I mean, I want the players to be the human element. I don't want someone who's not playing the game to dictate the outcome of the game. Okay,
and I agree with you. And referees and umpires should never dictate the outcome of a game. You and I are in agreement with that. Especially, a call at the end of the game that's an incorrect call, that's a killer. I don't disagree with you on that. You and I are the same there. I don't want a game determined by a bad call. But I think you're going overboard here with removing the umpires on the field. I think you're going way overboard.
I mean, if we want a fair game, I just don't really understand it. Yeah.
You don't think the games are fair right now?
I'm saying it almost sounds like you're saying that we should keep umpires because we've always had umpires, and at some point your job just may not be needed anymore.
There could be a point where jobs are not needed. You and I would agree on that. I don't think we're anywhere near that yet, but yes, that could be. But again, I think the beauty for baseball to me are balls and strikes, calls, and everything else. For me, and again, I respect how you feel. I don't agree with how you feel, but you're certainly entitled to your opinion. I got to go to break, but I appreciate your call. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Grant.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Rhino, how are we doing on your prize picks?
We're heating up again, Napes, and hopefully all of you are heating up as well with me on America's #1 daily fantasy site, Prize Picks. Use the promo code RHINO50, RYNO50, when you download Prize Picks and get $50 in free play after your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you get $50 in free play. Not hard to do. Very simple. No revolving lineups, no salary caps. You pick 2 to 6 players and choose more or less on their stat predictions. Withdrawals on your winnings, super easy, can be as fast as same day. So make sure you come and join me tonight's play, Grant. I am going more years with umpires on the field in MLB. I'm going Colin Gillespie, more than 1.5 made 3-pointers. Jacob Hurdle, more than 1.5 assists. And James Harden, more than 1.5 made 3-pointers. If that hits, that's a 2.3 multiplier. So hit that with me. Download the Prize Picks app. Use that code RHINO50, RYNO50. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
And Mike Pereira, he's always right. He's a person that needs to be right. That's his job. That's what he does. on the NFL on Fox. He decides whether the call was accurate or not before we hear from the replay system. His job is to be right, and he's right almost every single time. We'll talk to him at 4 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
Just outside of Sacramento is a place where families build friendships that last a lifetime. The Golden State Shooting Center is a clay target shooting facility. It's the home of numerous local high school and youth sport shooting teams. Skeet and trap shooting is a safe, exhilarating sport. School team members can compete for numerous college scholarship opportunities. Teams are being formed now, and new members are welcome. Call the Golden State Shooting Center for details or visit them online at goldenstateshootingcenter.com.
Fox Sports Radio. Did you know we're on YouTube? Did you know you can find all of your favorite shows on YouTube?
Look at us. We're waving at you right now.
Did you know that you can find the best clips and the best videos from your favorite shows?
All the interviews, clips, everything is there.
This is why you're the smartest listeners in the world.
Completely agree.
Because you went to YouTube and you searched Fox Sports Radio, and you were the ones that hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. You're the ones that watch videos from Two Pros and a Cup of Joe with Jonas Knox, Brady Quinn, and LeVar Arrington.
You can't even make this up. You got some holy water in your bag, baby.
Dan Patrick, Colin Cowherd.
Wow.
Cavino and Rich, the Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
Oh, my God. Oh, boy.
The Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon.
Think about that for a second.
And the Ben Maller Show. Fox Sports Radio. On YouTube.
That's strong stuff.
By searching Fox Sports Radio.
Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe, hit that thumbs up icon, and comment away.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking, the list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You know, the biggest problem that I have with what's going on in baseball right now as it relates to the automated balls and strikes is that you're not watching every game. You're only reading about challenges because it's now part of the box score and it's part of what is now news in baseball. And so you read yesterday that the Yankees challenged 5 times and got all 5 right. But I was watching that game for a while. I didn't watch the whole game. But in 3 of the pitches, there was only a sliver of space between the ball and the plate. And we're now going to just destroy an entire group of professionals because of a call that you can barely see on replay that has changed from a ball to a strike or vice versa by a hair. This is a awful situation if you're an MLB umpire. And I compare it to the last 2-minute report in the NBA, which, unlike this, at least this serves a purpose, Ryan, because you can change a call from a strike to a ball or vice versa. In the NBA 2-minute report, all they're doing is undermining their officials. They're not accomplishing anything in the NBA. Nothing changes with the last 2-minute report. So why do it, right? Like, what is the point of it other than making the officials look bad? The ABS is going to be the worst thing that's happened to MLB umpires since we had MLB umpires. It is awful. It is awful. And I, as somebody that has a lot of friends or know many of umpires in baseball, I honestly feel bad for them. They're in a no-win situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's not all that different from other officials in other leagues when replay came in, because it can say that you were wrong. I think to what Austin was saying, maybe he didn't say it the right way, but what I was came across to me was out of the major sports. And I don't want the human element. I don't want the umpires or refs moved off the field, but baseball would probably be the easiest out of the major sports to do that. Would you agree?
If you wanted to have the game completely automated?
Yes.
Yes. I based on the way the game is played, yes. But do you ever want to get to a sport that is played by humans and not officiated by humans? Like, is that where you want to go? Do you want to just have a sport that is completely done via computers and TV monitors and cameras? And like, are we going to take the national pastime, baseball, and we're going to change it to that way? I don't know about you, but I'm telling you, I would never, and I don't care if it's the World Series, I don't care if it's opening day, I would never watch a game again. I'd be done with the sport. I'm done.
Let's put this on the back burner really quick. Tiger Woods just broke his silence following his DUI arrest, saying he is seeking treatment. Quote, I know and understand the seriousness of my situation I find myself in today. I am stepping away for a period of time to seek treatment and focus on my health. This is necessary in order for me to prioritize my well-being and work towards lasting recovery. I'm committed to taking the time needed to return in a healthier, stronger, and more focused place, both personally and professionally. I appreciate your understanding and support and ask for privacy for my family, loved ones, and myself at this time, end quote.
Perfect. And that's what needed to be done. And I'm happy that that's the direction that he is going in. And one can only root for him to conquer his demons.
Amen. All those people, many of those people that were getting on him, criticizing him, piling on, even friends, professionals, colleagues, it's not from a hateful place. It's from a caring place. They get turned around just like this when you decide to make that decision.
Absolutely. I applaud him. And I think it's great news. I'll just say that.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. So I think we just answered the question on whether he will be at Augusta next week.
I'm so glad that the timing of this.
It's perfect.
Yes. It couldn't have been better. So who knows what the discussions were behind the scenes, but you didn't want it come down to the Masters having to answer questions about him like you laid out. You know, this makes the Masters exciting to look forward to again.
Yes, and I guarantee you all the players will be asked about Tiger's statement today, and they'll address it, and then they'll move on. Because I guarantee you that Rory's going to be asked, and Scotty, and all the top golfers in the world will be asked, and they'll answer it before the round on Thursday, meaning leading up to the practice rounds, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it will be done, and then golf starts on Thursday.
Yep,
As
absolutely.
it should be.
Absolutely.
As it should be. Yeah.
Good job, Tig.
It is a good job. Congratulations. Maybe that's not the right term, but props to him and his team for, well, what's the saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. He's the one that has to decide to do this. And I got to believe how hard this must be to be a public figure and have the whole world know about your personal life. It's part of the territory.
Well, it was part of his decision making
Yes.
that he wasn't considering when making decisions. Unfortunately, look, I have had addiction in my family. I think there's not a family out there that hasn't been hit with addiction, with somebody in it or somebody within the surrounding friends and family. There is so much advancement in the way that they are able to treat addiction, especially when it comes to dependence on painkillers. So I look forward to seeing Tiger hopefully bounce back because stuff's out there to help him.
And I would also say this, as I now going to transition back to golf, which I shouldn't, because if you don't have your health and you're an addict or whatever, it really doesn't matter what you do on the golf course. But after watching him last week, what's the event called indoors? What's it? The TGL?
TGL.
Okay. So I watched the events of last week, their finals in that sport. And it was his first public appearance and his first time swinging a club on TV, blah, blah, blah. And after watching him walk, I said to myself, there's no way he's playing in the Masters. He had not yet decided, but my eyes told me he wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
This also now is going to give his body a chance to, I don't want to say fully recover, because I don't think his body ever will fully recover, but this will give him the time without the, I don't want to use the word pressure, but without the timetable of, I got to get back for this, I've got to get back for that. Right now he doesn't. He has to take care of himself. He's going to take care of himself. And while he's doing that, hopefully his body gets as good as it can be, so that if he wants to come back to the Champions Tour, now that he's 50, and play in the majors, hopefully he'll be able to do that once he gets right.
Yeah. And, he just didn't look healthy to me. Everybody has their own idea of what healthy looks like, or it's not even health. It's something looks off, right? And I'm telling you, those 2 hydrocodone pills that were found in his pocket, those were the curse, but they might be the blessing, because that's what really kicked this thing. It was in my opinion, the evidence that was missing. It was the dirty test from Barry Bonds that never showed up, to where it's like, all right, it's out. Time to do something about it.
Yeah. All right. So that's the latest news. Thank you for talking about that. We've got so much going on. Mike Pereira, the NFL on Fox. As a NFL fan, speaking about officiating, do you care that we might have replacement officials and the NFL is already starting on that process? I don't know where things are going, and I know negotiations can be very confrontational and very nasty, and that's where things are right now based on the NFL Referees Union and the NFL, and the NFL is making plans to move forward with officials that are not the regular officials.
I would be curious to know when they started that process the last time, because starting this early might provide for more training, right?
That's exactly why they're doing it. That's exactly, you hit it right on the head. That's exactly why they're doing it. Yes. But they're not going to be the NFL officials and the implementation of the NFL game and everything else. But Mike Pereira knows a lot better than me. Mike Pereira, former NFL Fisher, former head of the officials, NFL on Fox. I'm looking forward to talking to Mike. That's coming up next, right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Jackson Rancheria. Let's go.
Jackson. Grab your old jeans and flick a lighter, because Jackson's gonna be rockin' with Journey Revisited, a tribute to Journey, live April 18th. Get tickets now at jackson.com.
Jackson Rancheria. Let's go.
While you're there, make sure to check out our full tribute series lineup honoring your favorite classic rockers, the Eagles, Lynyrd Skynyrd, CCR, and more. Let's go.
Let's go.
If that's not enough, we're giving away $1,000 in free slot play Tuesdays. Just play slots with your Dreamcatcher's club card, have a valid email address on file, and you'll be automatically entered to win 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Let's go.
Let's go. Luck out with cash and play at Jackson.
Jackson, 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 Jackson Rancheria.
Let's go.
If you love the game of golf and you want to get better at playing the game, your journey to golfing excellence starts by visiting par18golf.com. Par 18 Golf is a cutting-edge golf performance and training center located inside the historic Nimbus Winery in Rancho Cordova. Par 18 Golf trains with TrackMan Performance Systems, the very same system that PGA tournament professionals use to perfect their game. TrackMan indoor practice bays utilize Doppler radar and high-speed cameras that capture every motion and tiny aspect of your swing, from your posture and stance to the angle and trajectory of the ball and its distance and speed. Whether you're sharpening your short game, dialing in driver distance, or preparing for a summer tournament, visit par18golf.com. Book your first visit and get ready to train like PGA pros. You'll play smarter, perform better, and compete with an entirely new level of confidence. Go to par18golf.com and see the future of golf performance.
Hey folks, are you or do you know a veteran or family in need of a heating or air conditioning unit? I've got awesome news, because DAS Mechanical is giving back by donating one to a veteran or family in need. Owner Nick Delancey and his family, hey, they're always looking to give back to the community, and they're excited to help out a veteran or family in need. Just go to dasmechanical.org and nominate yourself or, hey, someone you know to receive one. And yes, it comes with installation. It's very simple to enter. Go to dasmechanical.org, click the 2026 HVAC system donation tab. Fill out a very short 6-question nomination form. Nominate now at dasmechanical.org. DAS Mechanical, family-owned, locally owned, HVAC experts, serving Sacramento for years. For all of your HVAC needs, DAS will exceed your expectations. Once again, that's dasmechanical.org.
It's the All Things Legal Show, heard every Saturday morning from 8 to 9. Join your host, Craig Ashton, with an entertaining and eclectic view of all things legal. Saturday mornings from 8 to 9. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
There's a great American pastime that the entire family can enjoy together, located right outside of Sacramento. The Golden State Shooting Center welcomes you. The Golden State Shooting Center is an 80-acre clay target shooting facility. It's the home of numerous youth sport shooting teams from the region. Over 1,000 high school students from Northern California are on sports shooting teams, and 10 of the Western United States' top shooting teams train at Golden State Shooting Center. New members are being accepted now. For details, visit goldenstateshootingcenter.com.
I'm retired and worried about the cost of food, medicine, and rent. BenefitsCheckup.org connected me to an extra $1,000 a month. Best of all, it's free. Visit BenefitsCheckup.org today.
Supported by the U.S. Administration for Community Living.
tell your friends. Grant's back. Grant Napear is back on the Sacramento airwaves right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
Well, the NFL league meetings are underway in Arizona, and there's a lot going on as every year. But when you watch football this fall, you may not be seeing the regular officials. Mike Pereira, a former NFL official, former head of the NFL referees, and you see him on the NFL on Fox. He joins us right here on the Grant Napear Show. Mike, how are you today?
I'm good, Grant. How are you?
I'm doing good. Well, here we are again. Labor situation going on between officials and the league. You've been through this before, but does this particular 2026 instance seem different to you? Does it have a different feel than what you've experienced in your career in the past in negotiations?
Yeah, it certainly does. And I think really the reason why it does is because what the league has done today, where basically they would expand the use of replay in New York to assist the officials that they bring in. I think that's a big deal. I mean, obviously, when we went through that in 2000, I went through it in 2001. My first year as head of the department, the officiating department, and literally, I remember Paul Tagliabue coming in my office, and I don't remember the exact time frame, but he said, "Find 150 officials in 3 weeks." And I'm like, "What? So and you know, he would come they come every day. Okay, we'd meet every day. How many you got? Well, I haven't got the number yet from the bars in Alabama, but I'm getting a few more. I found an SEC guy, a former SEC guy now who you know is he's actually a regular at a strip joint in you know, and I mean I was trying to go anywhere to find officials, but it was tough. We put our even I had to get on the field, and obviously I had been on the field since 1997. And I have to admit, I wasn't very good, and it's really hard. And it was a struggle. Obviously, it ended, you know, after 9/11. That was 2001 when everybody got their senses back together. I think the league thought, "What are we doing here?" And then the officials themselves, "Why are we doing this when we love doing this? Why are we involved in these, you know, negotiations?" And everybody got back to work. But I think having New York more involved is a big bargaining chip for the NFL. There's no question about that. I mean, would the Fail Mary have gotten, you know, reversed? And that call that was made in the field would have gotten reversed? Probably would have, you know, and that's the play that everybody's talking about. So I think that makes it a little bit different.
Generally speaking, when our sports officials, who are often maligned and criticized, aren't on the court or on the field due to labor situations where they're temporarily being replaced or what have you, we then get much more appreciation for the job that they do. So you've been through this before, and I know it's still last day of March, but let's look into our crystal ball and say that an agreement will not be reached and NFL replacement officials will be used, even with the advent of increased replay. What would fans expect? What should they expect, in your opinion?
Well, I don't think they should expect the game to look the same. I mean, it's just you can have replay there for, you know, for some of the big calls, but when it comes to pace a game and penalty enforcements and keeping control of games, it's not going to be there as much. And then I think the thing too, Grant, that nobody really talks about, which I think is so important, is the strife that this causes within the family of officiating. I mean, yeah, you have college officials that come in and they're nice guys, you know, who are never going to have a chance probably ever get in the NFL, but they work. They're considered scabs. Nobody will have anything to do with them. I mean, honestly, it's the damage caused in relationships between officials and officiating in general is horrible. And I just, I mean, I get it. There's a bunch of things that they're talking about and negotiating. I mean, how much of it is the money? I mean, the money is, you've heard Jeff Miller talk about, well, we're offering them 6.44% raise or whatever. It's still the fact that if you take a look at the revenue of the league and versus what officials make, whether you think they're good or not, it's really pretty small what they make. I mean, that's just the way it is. And you could say, well, what the hell, they're only part-time. Well, yeah, they are, but their life is consumed by this during the season. I mean, they never take a day off during the season. I mean, they're at home and looking at their own film. They're looking at other film. They're taking tests. It's really something. And I don't know. I just sit here and say I went through it and ran it in 2001. I watched it in 2012, and being from the inside running it and being from the outside watching it, it's not good. It's just not good. And I hope that that the sides can come together before it gets too late and get something done. I just don't think the game is nearly as good without it. And I've read some of the comments online about pay them more money. Well, they're awful. They should pay them for performance. I mean, then find them when they make bad calls, all this kind of stuff. Look, the one thing I would say, and I can say this with absolute clarity of mind, the 120 guys that are officiating in the NFL are the best football officials that there are, period. Is it an easy thing to do? No. Do you make mistakes? Yes. Just as players do and coaches do. But if you're looking at the integrity of the game, I just think at this point, you want your 120 on the field with all that is at stake now. And they talk about it, the gambling, all this kind of stuff. There's just too much at stake to have this potentially happen again.
So the current agreement expires May 31st, and you said you hope it happens before it's too late. What is too late, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, it's certainly too late if it's not decided by by the end of the contract. But I think you're looking at, they're going to start recruiting these officials. They've already started recruiting small college officials already, and there's an investment tied to that from the league standpoint. It's interesting the way they're doing it. I don't think we necessarily did it that way, but way back in 2001, but they're reaching out to small college officiating coordinators, junior college officiating coordinators, and asking them to help them recruit. And they're giving them a pretty attractive package. I haven't heard the final number yet, but I guarantee you that if a guy's working at Sacramento City College and all of a sudden he gets a note from the NFL and says, would you like to work and we'll pay you X amount? I mean, if I'm kind of a believer. If you want to do it, do it. I mean, I remember in 1994 there was also one. I think it was 94, and I got a letter from the league directly to me, asking me to become a replacement official, and laid out the parameters and the money. And I thought, man, I don't think I'm going to make it. I was 44 years old at the time. I don't think I'm going to make it. I wonder, should I do this? And then I thought about, geez, if I have even the smallest of possibilities that I might make it in, I certainly wouldn't want to do it. And then so many of my good friends were officiating in the NFL. Do I do that to them? And I decided not to do it, which certainly worked out in my best interest. But I just think that it's kind of everybody. If you listen from the league's side too, they want better performance. I mean, better performance, and who doesn't? I mean, who doesn't want better performance? Of course. I think we all want better performance, right? They want to shorten the dark period because essentially, from the end of the playoffs, the officials can't be touched by the league, even though they have physicals and all that kind of stuff. And the league wants to shorten the dark period so they can be more involved with them in the months of March and February, March, and into April, because that dark period doesn't end until May 15th. And I think, I think if you asked and any official in the league would answer you honestly, they would say, yeah, we don't want a dark period. We want to get better. So why shouldn't we be doing some things in February, March, and April, especially when you get paid to do them? I mean, and, you know, there's the other notion out there about there's a 3-year probationary period right now. And you know, the league wants to take it. You can basically let an official go in the first 3 years if he's not performing, and not have the union file a grievance as long as it's not for cause. League wants to expand it to 5. I mean, and the union wants to shorten it to 2. To me, 3's a fine. 3's a number. 3's a good number. You know if the guy's any good after 3 years. You know,
Of course.
I don't think you need to go to 5. We got to find the core issue here that's going on and try to get it settled. I'm kind of the one that right now I listen to the league and say, is there something else in mind? I mean, are they going to succumb to the notion that they should have some full-time officials? And therefore, since you really can't do that under the way that the CBA is written, is there a way that they're going to try to circumvent that? I flipped a little bit. I think all 17 referees should be full-time. I mean, full-time. I mean, during the season, they don't get weeks off. They go to Officiating Institute and they do all the evaluation together. They do all the off-season stuff together. I think that's like the important next step for it, but I don't think that's involved in the negotiations at this point.
You know, Mike, with the advent of gambling and the partnership with gambling businesses, so on and so forth, and the billion-dollar industry that it is, I just cannot imagine the NFL, which, correct me if I'm wrong, more people gamble on the NFL than any other sport in America. I don't understand how the NFL could possibly have replacement officials on the field when the season begins. That would be mind-boggling to me.
Well, I mean, as a person that been through it, I mean, we were, and I said this to somebody today. I mean, we had prior to we had replacement officials for 2 weeks, I think, regular season weeks in 2001, and then we hit 9/11, and then we ended up settling, and people were saying, "Oh well, you know, those guys, those replacements did a good job." No, they didn't. I mean, we were hanging on by a string, and I would say pretty much the same thing in 12. Now, will they have a better chance now because they'll have more input? But I don't really care how much input that you're going to get from New York. If you have unqualified officials on the field, whether or not you got people watching in New York, I mean, you're messing with the integrity of the game, and you might not like them, but there's nobody better. And so therefore, to me, you got to find a way to keep them on the field. And I don't know what the dollar, it would kind of be interesting if you looked at, say, okay, if the officials got what they wanted, and you just looked at that, then they're 10% range or something. What would that mean per team?
Yeah.
What would that mean for the 32 teams or whatever it is? Probably not that much, Grant.
Mike Pereira on Fox, somebody on our chat line wanted me to ask you this question. It says, ask Mike if pass interference calls should be reviewed. There are way too many mistakes on them both ways. This is probably the number one complaint or the number one question that fans always ask every year is pass interference, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it's also the hardest call to make on the field because everyone is moving, the ball's moving, the defender's moving, the receiver's moving. You know, it also carries the biggest penalty because it's a spot foul. We all know that the league made an attempt to do it a few years ago to make it reviewable, and people always laugh at me when I say this, but it failed. In my opinion, it failed in the third game of the first week of the preseason. I mean, it's because of the way that it was set up. I think you could make it reviewable at least at key portions of the game. And, you know, you hear it now about the league's going to make more calls and can put flags down. I think the problem was when they did this to review it, they said, okay, you can review it, but it's really got to be big pass interference. And so they stuck old Al River on right in the middle because he would look at a play because he was the one reviewing these and he would say, "Yep, it's pass interference, but is it big enough?" And that gray area killed it, So it's like, to me, if they were to try it again, and I'm sure that they would, to me, and we do it in the UFL, by the way, which we're headed into week 2 next weekend. We just finished week 1. We can review pass interference. It can be challenged, or we can look at them in the last 5 minutes of the game. But it's either pass interference or it's not. I mean, so yep, it's close, but it's pass interference. Then it's a foul. You can't try to put a different standard on it in replay than you have for the officials when you tell them how to officiate the play on the field. So it was easily a failure early on. So you could, and I understand it. I was one of the advocates of saying the damn call's so hard to make it the college rule so that it carries a maximum 15-yard penalties and you don't have these 40-yard mistakes. And but that will never happen because the league, even though I used to, that would be my one I'd always take to the competition committee. Well, let's make it a max 15-yard penalty like the college. No, because you'll take away the deep vertical passing game, and we love the deep vertical passing game. And guys will just tackle guys. Guys will just tackle. And I'd go, do you watch college football? I mean, if you're close enough to commit pass interference, you're trying to make a play. You're not dragging people down. And
I know.
But I couldn't never get that through, and I don't imagine that it ever will. But clearly, I would say, just from the fact of the punitive action after a pass interference call, I sat in New York and watched them. Man, how about a 40-yard mistake that shouldn't have been called? 43 yards.
Yeah,
it's a tough one.
Mike, we have talked a lot about the shortage of officials in this country and why anyone in their right mind would want to become an official. You started a foundation, Battlefields to Ball Fields, and I want to continue to talk to you about that. 2026, are we still dealing with a shortage of officials in this country? And the main reason is, why would anybody want to deal with that abuse?
Yeah, we are. There's no question that we're there almost in every sport. Almost in every state of the country. I could probably say every state of the country. But it's really something that we have to figure out, how to turn around. And here's the deal. There's a bunch of surveys that have been taken. I mean, not just surveys of 10 people. We're talking about surveys of 30,000 officials and of current and formers. And the thing is, it's very, very educational because the only way that we're really going to turn it around is to get the damn parents turned around, because that's where we're losing them.
Amen.
What's happening is the guy's saying, "Okay, I'm gonna do this. I want to help my community, and I'm gonna sign up to become an official." So what's the first thing they do with you? They give you a test and they teach you some classroom stuff. Where do they put you? They put you in youth sports. So you go to youth sports and you're not seasoned at all. And you're struggling trying to figure out what you're supposed to do. And the parents are killing you. I mean, killing you. It's why the fact that the retention rate is like so horribly low in the first 2 years, because they get tired of the parents killing them, and they're not making, any money to speak of doing those games. And that's the first group that we have to turn around, because I get it. They're so invested in their kids now. My God, they're in traveling teams and doing all this kind of stuff, and it's costing the parents a lot of money. If we'd have only bought Dick's Sporting Goods stock, 10 years ago, it's gone through the roof because of all the equipment that's being bought for the kids. But it's a dire situation, and we've tried to address it a little bit by giving scholarships to our U.S. veterans to get them to become an official, knowing that they're probably not going to be too intimidated by a mom that's yelling
Sure.
at them. I mean, they probably have had a lot worse. But I just think we in parenting and in youth amateur sports have to realize that we have to change, the way that, we go about treating and acting when you're seeing your kids play, because it's a bad deal.
What's your next event with Battlefields to Ball Fields?
We're going to have a golf tournament in Oregon, at Crosswater in Oregon. It'll be our second straight year that we've had it there, June 20th, and then, July 20th, and then November 10th. We'll be back in Sacramento at Del Paso.
Awesome.
With a great event. And some of the most magnificent stories have surfaced from some of our veterans that have been given the opportunity, to become part of a team again, to be leaders again, to be role models again. And some of the results have been fantastic. We've got them in college football now, in replay and small college football. So they're really starting to get up the ladder, and it's been so great to watch. And if anybody ever wants to read it all about it, it's just Battlefields, the number 2, battlefields2ballfields.org. And we would love to have you just kind of join our mission. That's for sure.
Great job, Mike. Love having you on. Such good to catch up with you. And let's hope they get this deal done for all concerned in the National Football League.
No kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding.
You take care, my friend.
Thanks, Graham.
Good stuff. Mike Pereira, the NFL on Fox. Great stuff. Wow. He's dialed in. So good. He is so good. He's so dialed in. He's just a great guy. I'm so blessed that my path in my career crossed with him. I really mean that. He's great. We'll come right back. 916-779-0929. The Grant Napear Show, Fox Sports, Sacramento.
It's the All Things Legal Show, heard every Saturday morning from 8 to 9. Join your host, Craig Ashton, with an entertaining and eclectic view of all things legal. Saturday mornings from 8 to 9. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
If you love the game of golf and you want to get better at playing the game, your journey to golfing excellence starts by visiting par18golf.com. Par 18 Golf is a cutting-edge golf performance and training center located inside the historic Nimbus Winery in Rancho Cordova. Par 18 Golf trains with TrackMan Performance Systems, the very same system that PGA tournament professionals use to perfect their game. TrackMan indoor practice bays utilize Doppler radar and high-speed cameras that capture every motion and tiny aspect of your swing, from your posture and stance to the angle and trajectory of the ball and its distance and speed. Whether you're sharpening your short game, dialing in driver distance, or preparing for a summer tournament, visit par18golf.com. Book your first visit and get ready to train like PGA pros. You'll play smarter, perform better, and compete with an entirely new level of confidence. Go to par18golf.com and see the future of golf performance.
Are you or do you know a veteran or a family in need of a heating or air conditioning unit? If so, go now to dasmechanical.org and nominate yourself or someone you know to receive one, with installation being donated by our neighbors at DAS Mechanical. We all know this past year has been tough for some in our community. Nick Delancey and his DAS family want to give back, and they're excited to give back, just like this, to help out a veteran or family in need. It's very simple to enter. Go to dasmechanical.org. Click the 2026 HVAC System Donation tab and fill out a very short 6-question nomination form. That's dasmechanical.org. Click the 2026 HVAC System Donation tab and fill out the short form. DAS Mechanical, family owned and proudly serving our community for years. Nominate now at dasmechanical.org. That's dasmechanical.org.
Homeowners, for any electrical project you need done, trust the good dudes at Gabrewd. Locally owned, 5-star service experts, always transparent prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Call Gabrewd or visit Gabrewds.com. Gubruds.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Always good to have Mike Pereira from the NFL on Fox on the Grant Napear Show on Fox Sports Sacramento. 916-779-0929. Still to come this week, Sean Salisbury, Olden Polynice tomorrow. Brian Knight, former MLB umpire, will come on and talk about the, the bullets that are coming at the umpires of Major League Baseball already in week one. We'll talk to Brian about that. Steve Sachs expected to join us to talk about the Athletics as they will be home on Friday, their home opener, as they take on the Houston Astros. Hopefully, they do not come home 0-4. Right now, they are 0-4 as they get ready to play the next game that's going to start here in a little bit in Atlanta. But I'm like, man, what is going on? Put the ball in play, would you please? Actually, the game has already started, and it's already 1-0. I'm looking at the score. I should put it on. Braves lead 1-0 already in the bottom of the first. Man, let's get some bats going. Let's go. Get some runs on the board. And then they have a matinee tomorrow, getaway day, and then they'll prepare for their home opener on Thursday. 916-779-0929. Ryan, you've talked about this a lot, and we talk about it a lot, and the world of sports talks about it a lot as it pertains to gambling. But the NFL and gambling is a gigantic enterprise. It just is. With everything that has happened over the last few years, the NBA scandal, which is ongoing, point shaving, players in the NFL being suspended for an association as it relates to gambling. How could the NFL, Ryan, possibly allow replacement officials on the field with where we're at in society right now and their partnerships with big gambling companies?
So the gambling companies are going to push back 100%. You know why? It's going to make it harder for them because they're going to have to factor it into their lines. I don't think it's going to take away from the number of people that gamble on games. It's just going to be probably a little bit more difficult for them on the back end because the way those line makers make the lines on a night-to-night basis is absolutely incredible. But no.
So why would they have? So explain to me your reasoning behind factoring in their betting lines if there are replacement officials.
Well, you're going to have to realize that there's going to be mistakes both ways. You just don't know which mistake could cost a team a game. And with the regular officials, a mistake could cost a team a game. I think just as you saw Adam Silver get some pressure with the tanking, as this gets closer, you're probably going to see the NFL get some more pressure from their quote unquote partners.
I would think so. I mean, if you are a business that is dependent on NFL gambling, which most are now, I mean, I can't even imagine the pressure that's going to be coming. Just the, what do we call the integrity of the game, right? We always talk about.
See, and we've gotten into this conversation a number of times about do people care about the integrity of the game or the integrity of their bet? Right? And
it's a great point.
I think the more people you pull, because so many more people are gambling that aren't really sports fans, it would be the integrity of the bet. Even though us purists, it's like, it's the game. Has to be the game.
Yeah, for me, it's always the game because I don't gamble on football. I don't gamble at all. But I wish I had gambled on the NCAA
Yeah, I was going to
tournament.
say, you should do that next year. March Madness. What
Yeah,
are you?
I'll go 0 for whatever. I won't get one game right. But yeah, I'm with you on that. We've changed. I wonder what the NFL, and I'll just keep it to the NFL for now. I won't even talk about the other sports. I wonder what the NFL would be like if there was no gambling. Like, and by that I mean, I wonder what the interest level would be. Like, how do you think the ratings would be affected if you talk about TV? Would it be 25% less? Would it be more than that? If you weren't allowed to bet on football, hypothetically, what do you think that would do to the interest of the game?
Not much.
Okay, so you think it would be minimal?
I think I mean, people before gambling was quote unquote legal, the NFL was still the biggest thing in town out of the major sports.
Yeah.
And I think part of it's the schedule too, Grant.
I agree. One game a week.
It's one game a week.
Yeah.
It's Sundays.
Yeah.
It's something.
When we say one game a week, your team plays one game a week, but we know there are games on Sunday nights, Sunday afternoons, Mondays, Thursdays. We get that, but your team plays once a week.
It's the easiest team sport to pass down through generations.
No question about it. Absolutely. You're spot on. Spot on. So what we do know is whether sports betting is legal or not, and it's legal in many sports, people have been betting on the National Football League since the infancy of the league.
Yes.
In 1925, right? So, like, people have been betting on football, and that's never going to change. It's just about whether it's legalized sports gambling or not.
Exactly right. And I think we still are in the, just like we talk about nil and we talk about the transfer portal, I think we're still kind of in that no laws kind of time, like Wild West when it comes to gambling, because NBA is asking for federal oversight on this, and who knows what it's going to go to. I thought your conversation with Mike specifically around pass interference was very interesting, because there's many people that say, well, if that call is so controversial and can be so subjective, why make it so punitive?
Yeah. I think it's the biggest problem with NFL officiating. And as Mike said, it's the most difficult of all to call because of the speed of the receivers, the contact. The officials are also running.
Exactly.
So when you're running, your head is not on a flat plateau. You're running, right?
That's
There's
right.
all of that you know, people think, gee, how can the official miss that call? You try to run, in many instances, full speed and make a call in an instant of a second on whether it was interference or not.
If you're a referee and you're running within 5 yards of the cornerback and receiver, you're running pretty damn fast.
Yes. Yes.
Very fast.
So obviously there are, the back judge doesn't have to run as much but the reality is it's a very difficult call to make. I personally would like to see the replay extended.
How so?
Expanded.
Okay.
Where I think in the final 2 minutes of a game, because what happens is quarterbacks will throw the ball up for grabs many times, hoping for a pass interference call, intentionally underthrowing the ball to a receiver.
Yeah.
Right? Which very often results in contact. We've seen some real egregious mistakes in those situations which have changed field position and thus the outcome of games. I personally would like to see in the final 2 minutes or maybe final 5 minutes of the game in the fourth quarter that to be eligible for replay.
Anything else?
No, I don't want the game to be too automated. I don't want the game to have too many stoppages like college football. I'm fine with just that. I do think that roughing the passer should be implemented because we have found that they make too many mistakes on roughing the passer.
Yeah. The standard deviations between what's a penalty and what's not with the officials when it comes to the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough.
Don't forget. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, what about the final 2 minutes of basketball, Grant?
Yeah, well, I hate the last 2-minute report. If you're going to have the last 2-minute report, then just correct the mistakes in the middle of the game while you're doing it.
Exactly. Or put the officials at the podium to answer questions.
They do have a pool reporter that does talk to the crew chief after games.
If there's something controversial.
Correct.
Yeah. Have you ever seen something corrected because of the 2-minute report?
Never.
It's like we're going to
No.
How would that even work? Would you replay the final 30 seconds?
You can't.
Yeah.
It's not like you can replay the Yankees-Kansas City Royals game from the 90s when George Brett hit the home run off Goose Gossage, the Pine Tar game. You can't do that in the NBA. So
what about when teams protest?
when's the last time you ever saw a team win a protest?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Have you ever seen?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
No. Hey, Village Financial Group, buying a home, selling a home equity line of credit. Let me tell you something. They are really good at what they do. And Spence, who is the broker owner of Village Financial Group, I've known for 26 years when he began his family-owned business, the Village Financial Group. When it comes to your real estate needs, Spence will be there for you. It's kind of like a white glove boutique shop experience from the start line to the finish line. He and Village Financial Group will handle everything for you. Call or text Spence at 916-805-4868. That's 916-805-4868. You can also go online to vfgloans.com. That's vfgloans.com. And you can look at thousands of available listings available for purchase. Spence is awesome when it comes to being creative with the financing. He is a financing specialist, and he has access to private money. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. That's 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. Still to come on the show today, Grant's Rant, Sean Salisbury, your phone calls, your text messages, right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
March Madness is in full swing, so why not capture some March magic with me, Rhino, on America's #1 daily fantasy site, Prize Picks. It's simple. No salary caps, no revolving lineups. All you do is pick 2 to 6 players and choose more or less on their stat lines and let them win the night for you. You can choose from Sweet 16 basketball action, opening day home runs. In fact, Prize Picks has over 100 different sports to pick from. Also, if your lineup gets off to a hot start, they're offering early payouts. Download the Prize Picks app today using the code Rhino50 to get $50 in free lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Rhino, RYNO 50 to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Join my community. Find your community. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Jackson Rancheria. Let's go.
Jackson. Grab your old jeans and flick a lighter, because Jackson's gonna be rockin' with Journey Revisited, a tribute to Journey, live April 18th. Get tickets now at jackson.com.
Jackson Rancheria. Let's go.
While you're there, make sure to check out our full tribute series lineup honoring your favorite classic rockers, the Eagles, Lynyrd Skynyrd, CCR, and more. Let's go.
Let's go.
If that's not enough, we're giving away $1,000 in free slot play Tuesdays. Just play slots with your Dreamcatchers club card, have a valid email address on file, and you'll be automatically entered to win 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Jackson Rancheria. Let's go.
Let's go. Luck out with cash and play at Jackson.
Jackson Rancheria.
Let's go.
This is Kurt Bagelman. Does your business need more customers? If you said no, congratulations. If you said yes, then you need to consider advertising your products and services. People need to know you exist, and then why your business is worth considering to spend their money with. You also need to advertise to the right audience. For example, Sports Talk listeners have disposable income. They own homes, they're employed, and they earn six-figure incomes. And importantly, Sports Talk listeners listen longer, so your advertising message has more opportunity to be heard. Does your business need more customers? If the answer is yes, then give me a call to schedule a conversation. We'll discuss your objectives, talk about potential strategies, and also determine if Fox Sports Radio is a good station for you to consider. Call me, 916-779-0914. Radio gets results, and we are here to help. Call 916-779-0914.
Well, we've got a lot going on. My thanks to Mike Pereira, the NFL on Fox, Sean Salisbury. He'll be coming up. All right, so there's a very sensitive topic it's going on as it relates to the Chicago Bulls waiving Jaden Ivey. And the term mental health has surfaced as it relates to Ivey. So let's for a moment assume, for sake of conversation, that he is dealing with some type of mental health issue. I don't know how to define mental health, so don't ask me. It's not what I do. I think it has a very broad spectrum, and I, quite frankly, would not be able to define accurately what that means. In my mind, I have an idea. I think I know, but not to talk about on radio. But again, for the sake of this conversation, if Jaden Ivey is dealing with a mental health issue, why would he be cut from the Chicago Bulls and basically out of the NBA? Why would they not wrap their arms around him the way they've done with Kevin Love? Ryan, you talked about this yesterday with DeMar DeRozan, his book, and how he's dealt with his issues. Why is it different for Jaden Ivey? And it's very simple why it's different. You know it, and I know it.
Yeah.
And he made a politically incorrect comment that goes against the grain of what the NBA verbally preaches. And with events throughout the calendar year of the 82-game season, as it relates to Pride Night, and yet they have no problem going and playing games over in the UAE.
This is very nuanced, though. This is incredibly nuanced because his activity on social media has only picked up. I watched his 10-minute video while a plane was getting ready to take off last night.
Right.
And it's nuanced because he's bringing his beliefs into, not political beliefs. He's bringing his spiritual beliefs into this.
His religious beliefs.
His religious beliefs. Correct.
Which is, right. But mental health is circulating around Jaden Ivey. There are people, and again, I don't know who, but I mean, I know it's it's social media. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I am a Christian. I don't mind saying that on the radio. You will see my cross from time to time if you watch here on Fox Sports Radio. And he's passing judgment, right? And I guess the line is, with that belief system, you're not the one that passes judgment versus I'm following my belief system. And where in between does that stand up or equal out to speaking up in public versus not speaking up because he believes that he is being blackballed because he's spoken up that it goes against his belief system. And that to me, and I've read a lot about the mental health aspect about this, the people that are pushing that because it's all of the sudden, right? But with his belief system, that can be all of the sudden. And I just find it very, very murky is the wrong word. I just it's eggshells about how you look at this. You have players backing him. You
Yep.
have other people.
NFL player backed him from the Patriots last night.
Somebody on his
social
own
media.
team backed him today.
I believe you're right. Yes, that is correct.
You know, it's not my place to pass judgment with my beliefs, but this is a different situation than I think we've seen in a very long time. You know, because if you believe the reports that he's asking before he was let go by the Bulls, members of the media who are asking him questions, you know, have you done this? Have you, you know, that's not part of, you know, he can't have it both ways, I guess is what I'm getting at. And it puts the NBA into a very weird place. I mean,
well, I'll say this. Regardless of what he said and how you, not you, Ryan, but how you interpret that and what your own personal beliefs are, his actions and the way he's going about it, to me, is alarming and gives me the perception when I look at Jaden Ivey as a guy that's dealing with some issues who is unstable. Okay, that's how I interpret when I watch his videos, and as a host of a sports talk show, I have to discuss these things. And so when I watch his videos and I listen to what he says and how he's saying it, me, Grant Napear, I interpret him to be unstable. Okay, more so than the message that I'm listening to, but I'm like, there's this not all right here.
And you know what? I am so glad that you said that, because I couldn't really put my finger on what it was, and you just did, because it's context, it's setting, right?
Yes.
He's on an airplane that's getting ready to take off. The instructions are being read across the loudspeakers.
Correct.
He's being loud in his live stream to where I don't want to say it's causing a scene, but you know somebody's talking loudly if you're anywhere around him.
Of course.
And to the point where the flight attendants, and I thought they were very polite with him, came up and said, hey, we're getting ready to take off. We can't do anything live right now. You know, it interferes with our communications. And he was very reasonable as well. He said, okay, well, once we get up, but the setting in which it was happening and the way it was being delivered, yes, you are spot on. Spot on.
I don't know anything. I don't know. I've not been around Jaden Ivey. I'm not going to sit here and talk like I am an expert on him. But I'm only telling you, it is, to me, someone that is unstable. And I'm not even talking about the message. I'm talking about just everything.
So how did?
But again, if we're talking about what is the new term in this millennium or millennium in this decade? Mental health, right?
Yeah.
We have a player in Sacramento that's been very open about it, DeMar DeRozan. You mentioned this on the show yesterday, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Kevin Love. We're keeping it right now to the NBA, but if you want to extend it to other sports, well, look at what Gary Woodland just went through, and he still goes through, and his PTSD, and he was very open about that. He just won a big event, but he said, hey, this is just one day, right? It doesn't change my life and what I'm dealing with in that sense. I've never walked those shoes. I can't speak for Gary Woodland. I can't speak for DeMar DeRozan because, fortunately, and I say that with a blessing, I have not had an issue to this magnitude where I've broken down in the middle of my job the way Gary Woodland has done.
Right.
I can't relate to what DeMar DeRozan has gone through. Maybe someday I will, but right now, to this point, I haven't, and I'm grateful for that. So I can't really walk in their shoes and speak to what they've gone through, but it's real. I mean, it's not manufactured. It's not like they're weak. It's things that they're dealing with. So is Jaden Ivey, could he possibly be dealing with the same type of quote unquote mental health issues? And what he really needs is an embracement from a team in the league? How's that any different? How's that any different from the former player? I can't remember his name right now. That Mark Cuban helped out. He was with the
Delonte
Dallas,
West.
right? How's that any different than what was done for Delonte West?
It's not, and that's what I said yesterday about there's a difference between being embraced by a team and being able to perform your job duties. And Jaden was not playing; he was rehabbing,
That's correct.
right?
Right. That's correct.
And being embraced by the NBA fraternity, the professional sports fraternity, because many of those players that you mentioned, they fought this stuff in silence, right? DeMar
Yes.
always points back to the tweet that he
Yes.
sent out at, I think it was like 3 or 4 in the morning, and
Yeah.
talks about it in his book. And they were kind of the trailblazers to bring their battles to the public. And Gary Woodland, in a sense, just did that 2 weeks before he won this last tournament, the Houston Open. And so who knows how long Jaden may have been battling this in the background, but I think he does need that embrace from the fraternity. And in some ways, he's getting public embrace from his peers right now.
Some, no question. 916-779-0929. But the reality is, and we all know this, and the league can say whatever they want, his comments as it relates to specifically Pride Month and his comments associated with Pride Month was deemed as conduct detrimental to the team in the press release by the Chicago Bulls.
Right.
So conduct detrimental to the team can mean a lot of different things. It's a very broad statement, right? I just wonder if there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than we really know as it related to Jaden Ivey, or was it one of those red flag comments, such as all lives matter, every single one, that some people were offended by, because that's what I believe in. And I don't have any problem telling you that I believe all lives matter, every single one. That's just too difficult for some individuals to take. I always go about how a message is delivered. I talk about patterns of behavior.
Bingo.
And Jaden Ivey's pattern of behavior, for someone that doesn't know him, haven't been around him, for me, the way I perceive it, I would use the word, it's alarming to me.
You just
it's alarming.
You just put the perfect example out there. It is what has been your pattern of behavior. Has this been a slow burn? Is this part of a regular routine for you? And from what we know now with you, not part of a routine. You just made a statement that you believed in, right? And you still believe in to this day. When
and I
you were
have
asked,
believed in it.
yeah, and you were asked, you answered, right? But as we learn more about Jaden, we're learning that, okay, well, he was doing this with the press, and he was, it seems like, okay, now you have patterns, as you said. And so I think that's what can delineate the two of those.
Again, it's a very sensitive topic, and it's one that has been talked about a lot over the last 24 to 48 hours. And there will be a new news cycle, which has already been occurred with Tiger Woods' announcement. So people will stop talking about Jaden Ivey, and now the sports world and the social media world will all gravitate towards Tiger Woods. That's the way our society works now.
So last thing, and I know we're up against it. There's people out there that are comparing this to Kaepernick, and I don't think you can compare them.
Yeah.
Where do you stand?
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
So.
Yeah, I don't compare this. And I don't even want to get into that whole.
No. Either do
discussion.
I, but they're separate worlds.
Yes. Agreed. Separate worlds indeed. All right, don't forget, we've got Grant's Rant. That is going to be coming up in a couple of moments. Sean Salisbury will start us off after that in hour number 3. We always welcome your phone calls at 916-779-0929. That's 779-0929. Don't forget, tomorrow, Olden Polonies. We've got Brian Knight, former MLB umpire, just retired last year. He'll be on with us this week. Steve Sachs, among others. Grant's Grant, though, to start us off in hour number 3 on a very busy Tuesday, right here, the Grant Napear Show on Fox Sports, Sacramento. Hey, folks, are you or do you know a veteran or family in need of a heating or air conditioning unit? I've got awesome news because DAS Mechanical is giving back by donating one to a veteran or family in need. Owner Nick Delancey and his family, hey, they're always looking to give back to the community, and they're excited to help out a veteran or family in need. Just go to dasmechanical.org and nominate yourself or, hey, someone you know to receive one. And yes, it comes with installation. It's very simple to enter. Go to dasmechanical.org, click the 2026 HVAC system donation tab. Fill out a very short 6-question nomination form. Nominate now at dasmechanical.org. DAS Mechanical, family-owned, locally owned, HVAC experts, serving Sacramento for years. For all of your HVAC needs, DAS will exceed your expectations. Once again, that's dasmechanical.org.
Get the best. Bridgestone tires are engineered to keep your world moving, and that's what really matters. Now through March 31st, buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires and get $80 back on a Bridgestone prepaid MasterCard. Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. For the best selection in Bridgestone tires, get to Expert Tires and Brakes at 5810 Auburn Boulevard. Expert Tires and Brakes. Save big and get their 60-minute install guarantee. Expert Tires and Brakes, 5810 Auburn Boulevard. That's Expert Tires and Brakes.
Let's face it, happens every day. And when it does, the accident guys are here to help. Call us, the accident guys, 877-888-GUYS.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the accident guys.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. When you step back and let the final moments settle in, the ending of the Duke-UConn game came down to a glaring mismatch in personnel maturity. Duke will always have talent. Year after year, the roster resets with elite one-and-doners expected to win immediately. The upside is obvious. The drawback shows up in moments like this, moments of pressure, because experience can't be rushed. The Boozer twins had the talent to carry Duke for years, but late turnovers in a game like that are part of the learning curve. On the other side, UConn leans on their coaching staff and experience. Alex Caravan didn't force the final shot. He passed up a contested look, found a better one. The rest is history. That's the difference. Talent puts you in position. Maturity decides what you do with it. And in March, when every possession, every decision carries more weight, it's not always the most gifted team that survives. It's the one that knows exactly what to do when the moment arrives. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. 2 words, prostate exam. Relax. Screening starts with a simple finger-free blood test. Around 1 in 8 men in the United States will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. Prostate cancer can have over a 99% 5-year relative survival rate when caught at a localized or regional stage. If you're 40 or over and have a prostate, visit relaxitsabloodtest.com to see if a PSA blood test is right for you. Talk to your doctor about screening and the next steps. Sponsored by Novartis. Millions of people move every year for all kinds of reasons. When that time comes, it helps to go with a company you can trust. Penske Truck Rental.
Their trucks are clean, newer, well-maintained, and you get free unlimited miles on one-way rentals. And there's no fee if you want to change your reservation. They've got over 2,500 locations and live support around the clock. Penske helps you gain ground like no other company can. Go to PenskeTruckRental.com or download the Penske Truck Rental app.
I love the exercise classes at the senior center, and I love eating healthy, but it can be expensive. BenefitsCheckup.org connected me to programs that help me pay for groceries. Visit BenefitsCheckup.org today.
Supported by the U.S. Administration for Community Living.
Grant Napear is back every weekday afternoon, 3 to 6. This is Fox Sports, KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
It's time for Grant.
So the new coach of the Cleveland Browns is Todd Monken. And at the NFL meetings, there is a ritual where all 32 NFL coaches get together and they have a group photo. So the photo was taken after a coaches meeting. Well, Monken had left the meeting early because he wanted to get a haircut for the photo. Okay? The meeting got out early and the photo was taken. And as Monken was heading to the meeting, he ran into the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Liam Cohen. And he said, I got to hurry. I got to get to this photo. Let's go. And he said, the photo was taken 20 minutes ago. How about that? We always talk about players missing meetings, right? Missing appointments. Todd Monken, 0 for 1 as head coach of the Cleveland Browns, missing the annual coach's photo because he was getting his hair cut for the purpose of being good to go for the photo. Some things you just can't make up. And that's my rant for today. Sean Salisbury joins us each and every Tuesday at this time, right here on Fox Sports Sacramento. Sean, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing fine, my man. How are you?
I'm doing good. The big news breaking today, Tiger Woods' statement. I, for one, am glad that he's going down this road. I'm very happy we won't see him at the Masters. I think it would have been just a distraction for all. He's finally saying, I got to take care of myself. I need treatment. So at least hats off to him going down this route.
Yep. For anybody that's one is, and I've said this, that compassion's a good thing. Enabling will destroy and kill people. It just will. Whether it's a career, whether it's a life. I love Tiger Woods. I do. But you got to compartmentalize with his story. You got to, there's a bunch of different verticals in this. You got what a great player and his grind and tough love growing up. Then you got to go to the unbelievable, the way he went about his business on the course. And then what went on with the divorce. And then, the comeback. And then another problem. And then another comeback. And all the injuries. I mean, there's so many different lanes to go in with this. But they don't all need to be bunched into the same thing. Is he a great golfer? Yes. You make the argument as good as we've ever had? Yes. Has he become is he the most important person in golf? He still absolutely is. More important than Brian Rolap. There's not a person in golf more important than him. Watching Tiger Woods miss the cut will draw more attention than Scotty Scheffler being the lead at a tournament on Sundays. As good as Scheffler is, he's still the biggest needle move. When he's standing at the Genesis Open with his arms crossed at his tournament in Riviera, we're talking more about him than we are the guy in third place. Yep. And I get it. He's responsible for purses. He's done a phenomenal job of mentoring players and bringing more African Americans and city kids and underprivileged kids into golf. His impact, while Jack may be the best, the best and greatest, you can argue that, but nobody impacts it like he does for purses. No wonder the players love him, and I get it. And he's become a kinder, gentler, it feels, guy over the years after going through difficult times. But Grant, we can sit here and do all we want, but enough's enough. Because he's a star, people look at, well, you can't criticize Tiger. Yeah, you can. You absolutely can, and you should. As much as I hate to say it, but he needs time away. He understands not going to Augusta because it is a distraction. They'll talk more about him, and Augusta doesn't like distractions, and he needs to get help, because I can tell you, because I know what it's like to, after about 15 days of Percocet after I had back surgery and knee surgery, and I was going through my rock bottom also at the same time. I just lost my house. I've been through a divorce. I know I lost a home. I don't have a job, all those things. I'm sleeping in my truck. I got news for you. Percocet was my outlet, and my doctor kept prescribing it. So while it started to handle my injuries, Grant, you know what it ended up doing? After I started, I was pain free. You go through the rehab and use ice and do all that. Then it got to the point I was taking 20 milligrams of Percocet, which in the big scheme of things isn't much, when I go to the movies, because it got you in your little zen area. And you get behind the wheel of a car because you say, well, I'm not drunk, I can drive, because sometimes it makes you more aware. It affects people different. And so I did that for 2 years. For 2 years, where it's like, I'm not feeling, I'm going to go to the movie, man. And they'd be loose in my pocket to kind of help you get through a little bit of pain, but more the mental anguish you were going through. And as good as he's been in his career and as injured as he's been, there's a lot of pressure for him to return. He's got a lot of responsibility. I'm not making an excuse for him, but you can understand from a distance of, okay, the pain, do it. And what happens, I'm just telling you with addiction. And I quit cold turkey. It's not like I was doing it for 20 years. But a month was enough, but I did it off and on because, I had another knee surgery, then my shoulder surgery. And it was easy to say, what's 30 milligrams of Percocet and 70 throughout the day? Well, I'll tell you what it is. When you're laying on your bathroom floor with a migraine headache, thinking you're dying, and you live alone in a home or sleeping at a hotel because you can't afford your home, and you got to go to the doctor's office, and at that very doctor's office that you go to, you're laying on the lobby floor because your headache's so bad and you can't get in, and they're waiting to get you in. And you're whining like a 7-year-old. That was me. Okay, stuff that I don't talk to you. But it was a short-term one, but I knew the effect that it had. And it was my outlet because I wasn't hanging around anybody. I'm not saying Tiger's the same way, but I'm saying he got a couple loose. It's one of those, let me just pop one of these. It's not booze. It takes a little, you know what it is, Grant? It's 2 fingers of bread. It takes a little edge off, right? But you don't feel the hangover. But I'll tell you what you do feel is the addiction. And I don't know how severe his is, but this has been going on for the better part of a decade and a half.
Yeah, it's been going along.
You can't tell me that's not addiction. He's got to, whatever the issues are, we need a good Tiger Woods all the time. His kids need him. His kids are watching every move he makes, as is everybody else. So the guy's got responsibility all over. But still, the more you enable a star, the more we wake up one day and say, why didn't we say it? Why didn't he go get addiction help? Why didn't he go say, how do I get off this? Because no normal human being, no doctor worth his salt or that keeps their license is going to keep, injury or not, eventually they take you off and put you on something less. They're not going to keep doing this if they want to keep their license. Tiger Woods needs help. And I'm glad he's doing this, and he's got to get his life in order, because it seems to me that peace of mind has eluded him for a while. And the reason I can comment on that, and him in a much bigger way because he's a star, is I've lived it.
Yeah.
And I've lived Sean, identity being caught up in your job. Yeah,
I love your vulnerability. We just saw it where you live in Houston with Gary Woodland and what he's gone through, and a year ago coming out and talking about his demons with PTSD and the surgery that he had, his brain surgery some 30 months ago, and crying in the middle of a golf tournament on the fairway and not being able to continue and this and that, and how he overcame that. It was just a great story. So I've talked to you about this before on my podcast, but since you brought it up, those were the darkest of your days. That was when you were at truly ground zero. What brought you through that? Because Gary Woodland said, if anything, I really hope that my win today can help whatever anyone is going through, that, you can hang in there and you can get through this and you can do it, because you did. What got you through your darkest moments?
Because I would have done irreparable damage to myself and others if I didn't. Stop. Now, a lot of prayer, a phenomenal family, and a handful of really close friends that never quit reaching out when it was in vogue not to contact me. When it was, stay away, the ones who wouldn't let me be alone. The ones who wouldn't let me, because I went through every emotion, felt sorry for myself. Now, I want you to think about the trigger mechanisms. This isn't a pat on the back to me. Shit. Pardon my language, Grant. Sorry, you can hit that dump button. I apologize. But my emotion about that is for me, and I get so emotional because thinking about Gary and thinking about Tiger and, and the compassion that goes with it. But when I finally have friends, friends say, dude, it wasn't even anything to do with the Percocet that you'd take when your knee kind of hurt, but you wanted a relaxation in a comedy to get away from everything, is the trigger mechanisms that set me in. As I mentioned, I've been through a divorce. From 2005 to 2007, I lost a home. One of my children was so affected by how it affected me, we didn't have much conversation. We obviously repaired that because I needed to, and for no other reason other than hurt by it. I wasn't a good example at one point. I had 48 cents in my bank account. I can tell you where I was when I went to my ATM machine. I had to, because every dollar I spent was to make sure my kids could go. I didn't want them to know that I couldn't get them through college. I slept in my car about 100 days a year for about 2 or 3 years. I lost my home. I lost my dad. I lost like I said, I was divorced. That was all from June of 25 till I lost my dad in the summer of 2007. In a 24-month period, I had about 7 trigger mechanisms that would make you want to just, because I remember one time I got in my truck, was driving down the street. I was in Plano, Texas. And I had a truck it was old truck. I mean, I got, my sister helped me. I didn't have enough money that I was driving around. And I remember picking up the phone and calling my brother and my best friend. And I said, I don't know if I can do this anymore. And I was just like, I broke down in tears. Now, for different reasons for Gary, Gary didn't know if he was going to be alive in 2 years when this hit him. So his was far more, mine was more self-inflicted and feeling sorry for myself, and then anger and hatred and self-loathing, all that stuff. And then you pop a Percocet, or you'd have a little drink, or both. And for me, honestly, it was good friends, a lot of prayer, and me realizing, and then somebody giving you a chance, but me realizing this isn't who I've ever been. And for that stint of 2 or 3 years, Grant, I'll be honest with you, there's times, when negative hits, you don't want to remember it. So there's a time, about a 3-year period in my life, from about 2009 to 2011, that area, 2007, because when I went through it, I thought I'd be right back in the TV thing. I haven't had an audition in 20 years since I left. Since 2008, I've never had a television audition since I left. And that still stings, but I'm over it because I've moved on. But I can remember going through it and all that stuff and the feeling sorry for yourself, that I realized for 3 years, I'll go back and say, man, where was I living in 2011? Because your mind wants to get rid of those things that was the wrong. It does. But the greatest thing is you got to remember them, or you got to know why in order to fix what was wrong. And for me, I didn't go to any, I should go to an OCD because I've had OCD forever, but I needed to go talk to somebody and I didn't. But I talked to friends and family, and I woke up literally one day and said, I can't live like this, or I'm going to die from just the mental exhaustion. And my identity was locked up into my career, not in being a dad, which all my life it had been in family. But a stint, once I lost it, I was like, well, is my identity really locked up into my career? All those things that I went through in a 2-year period. And then the next 3 years of trying to get out of them, but my mind was everywhere. But I'd go on 5-mile walks in a sweatshirt just to walk and sweat, so I didn't have to be around anybody. I would order takeout. And this is not hyperbolic. Matter of fact, I'm downplaying this. So everything. So I get it, and I needed help, but my help came from an arm around me and something else. I couldn't have afforded. I didn't have any insurance. I couldn't have afforded to go to a counselor. I didn't have any money, and that's after paying this and going through a 7-figure divorce, all those things. But while I'm proud of what I went through, it still took me a while to say, Sean, you should be more proud of that than any award. And I've finally come to grips with that after all this time. But in Gary Woodland's case, that's the biggest story in golf. While Tiger's going to get the pub, but that's self-inflicted. Tiger's made mistakes. Gary Woodland on the wonder if he's going to die or not, then going out and winning and crying in the middle of a fairway to his caddy during a tournament. This is a comeback story. And in truth, everybody leans to Tiger Woods. You know what Tiger Woods should do? Call Gary Woodland if he hasn't. Sit down with that guy. And the emotion Gary would, and Tiger's always been guarded and protective, and he's opened up a little more, which is good for us. We need the bad Tiger Woods, the struggling Tiger Woods off the golf course for others to say, man, if Tiger can come back from this, this will be the greatest comeback of his life if he goes and doesn't play another round of golf.
Could you imagine how many people he could help? Can you imagine how many people he could help?
Grant.
Oh my gosh.
Today, by his announcement today and doing this, and if he's committed to it, and if his friends will not enable him but push him to this and fight him over it, it'll be the greatest of all these comebacks, from losing his leg and the rest. But go ask Gary what it was like. And when Gary's walking down there wondering if he's going to leave those little kids and his wife, when he's going to die because he didn't know if his brain's going to work, and wonder how he's going to get out of bed every day, and looking around and thinking, that paranoia. God bless him. It's the biggest story. It's the most tears I've ever shed for a golf sporting or any win. I was in tears watching him walk down on the way. Min Woo Lee and Nikolai Højgaard were cheering him on and waiting back and giving him, as you do at every tournament, you let that guy get his flowers when he's walking up. But those flowers could have been different flowers for Gary Woodland 5 years ago. He didn't know if he was going to make it. So it's a great comeback, but this is for him to be transparent. That's the one thing. It's no longer taboo to admit that you struggle. Because if the greatest golfer on the planet and the most impactful athlete or globally known athlete, at least if he's not one, he's in the soccer conversation with guys, with the great soccer, the Messis of the world. But the impact he'll make there doesn't touch just sports. It touches the 12-year-old. It touches the dad. It touches guys like me who've seen rock bottom. And Tiger Woods going, and you know what? He should be grateful too. He's got like 9 lives. He should be grateful that they've ended up in some unfortunate circumstances, but he's still alive and well and been able to come back and win and play golf. Now, his leg and all that, obviously that was dramatic. If that's not rock bottom enough to scare him straight, he does need help. And the impact he will make on millions of people after this, especially if he's committed to it and comes out and doesn't talk until again, and then talks about it. We all need to hear it, because all of us in some way, shape, or form, and people you don't know that are struggling. I hid mine. Some people knew. You gain weight. You're lethargic. But I could hide it a little bit, but I couldn't hide it from myself. And there were days, I've told you this before, and when I say I don't know if I think you know what I mean when I say I don't know if I can go through this anymore.
Yeah.
Those thoughts cross anybody who hits rock bottom. And the trigger mechanisms, you know what? Things happen for a reason. Sometimes they're self-inflicted. If Tiger Woods will go get this fixed and do it the right way, he'll consider this the greatest comeback in his life, because for a couple reasons, if nothing else. A daughter and a son that need him.
Yeah.
And that's important. Because I'll tell you right now, if he was around, if his pops was alive, Tiger's butt would be stuck in buttermilk, because his pops would grid, just like my dad would have. I almost quit. After my dad died, I almost quit. My dad would have came out of the grave and out of heaven and grabbed me by the back of my shirt and said, "This isn't the way we do things here." And I'm more shameful of that than anything, that I would let my mom and dad, especially my dad, down. And I had to get it fixed. And to this day, I haven't had a Percocet or any of that in years. And I'm proud of it, because you always think, man, I got this shoulder. Well, you know what you do, Sean? Put some friggin' ice on it, or go get surgery. And that's just the way it's got to be done.
The one thing you told me years ago when we had this very deep conversation was the one thing that helped you more than anything, because you really couldn't please yourself, make yourself happy. In other words, no matter what you did, you were in rock bottom, was to try to help out somebody else. And that really also got you through the darkest of days. And I think that's a great lesson in life, that can make your heart feel good. If you can't make your heart feel good in your own body, make someone else feel good, which really got you going. It kept you going.
Well, Grant, let's just use it financially. If all of a sudden you and I were going out somewhere and we were going to go both buy ourselves a new car because we got a big bonus, or our business crushed it, and we had it, as they say, I'm not going to tell you I won Powerball, but there will be signs. If we went out and bought it, we'd look at each other and say, all right, cool, we got our new SUV. But now let me say, what if you and I did that and the first thing we did was go buy a family who didn't have a way to get to the grocery store, a new SUV? What would you feel better? Pretty obvious. In this terms, for me, as I was going through it and come out of it, I was on the back side of it. But you know what? It's like somebody who's an alcoholic or somebody, and I'm not comparing the two because they're devastating, but when you're going through your rock bottom, you think it's never going to end. You just do. And even when it does you start to come out the other side, you know what your first fear is? Well, what if this happens again? And then you vow to yourself, I will fight back, and you'll have to kill me, not for me to fight back the next time. Well, that happened. And then at the tail end of me coming out of it, but still working my way back, that's when I decided, to take in Russell, who was homeless and
Sure.
who lived with me
Yeah.
for 2 years, all the stuff that's been documented. But, and I'll say it, when in doubt, if you don't pray, or you don't know who you're praying to, or whatever it is you do, or you donate your time, or whatever it is, if you will immerse yourself into others, and it's the hardest thing to do while you're feeling sorry for yourself and you're in your own rock bottom, to go help somebody else get out of there.
It's the best therapy you
It's
can
like
do.
It is like a great leader. Great leaders
Yep.
don't just make themselves better leaders. They make other people great leaders. And in the case of this, my responsibility was, Sean, and I know that the still small voice was speaking to me, not to get spiritual, to turn back around and go pick Russell up. And I did, and 2 years later, that was the exclamation point for me to get out of my rock bottom, is to immerse myself into a guy who needed me more than I needed him, at least he thought. And in truth, I needed him every bit as much as he needed me. And him moving in with me and me understanding even more compassion, I realized, Sean, this dude trudged across the country without a place to live. You got family and friends, that you had a home that you could go stay at with somebody, or you're healthy. And it changed my life. I still have my days of be like, damn, I wish I was back doing this or that. But I get out of them quicker. It doesn't fester. And Tiger Woods, this will be the greatest comeback in his life. And he was afforded another opportunity, because it could have. Now imagine that middle of the night going and rain hits and you're doing that. And it's on the open freeway and the guy behind you is in an 18-wheeler. Now what? So I know that's harsh, but when you're going through rock bottom, you need people to have compassion. But quite frankly, you need a golf spike to your ass. And that's exactly what he needs, because I'm sure he woke up after that, got out of jail that night, and woke up the next morning thinking, I can't do this anymore. Because you're embarrassed. You have so many people counting on you. And like I said, if you don't care about yourself, make sure you care about others. And the next thing Tiger Woods to do is to immerse himself into getting right and staying off social media or any of that stuff. I don't even know if he does it. And quit worrying about the PGA Tour or the Augusta or comebacks. Get yourself mentally, emotionally, and whatever he considers spiritually right. And his comeback will make the documentary will impact people beyond even what he can fathom.
Sean, the greatest thing about my job is having conversations like this. Thank you, buddy. Look forward to talking with you next week.
Always honored to share it with you, brother. Thank you for allowing me. Appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. Bye-bye. That's Sean Salisbury. Just phenomenal transparency. And I've had this conversation with him on multiple occasions, but every time I listen to Sean and his perspective for someone that's been there, and I look at all of the messages that we're getting, wow. It resonates, I think, with all of us. Powerful stuff. What do you think? 916-779-0929. We'll take your phone calls, messages next right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Just outside of Sacramento is a place where families build friendships that last a lifetime. The Golden State Shooting Center is a clay target shooting facility. It's the home of numerous local high school and youth sport shooting teams. Skeet and trap shooting is a safe, exhilarating sport. School team members can compete for numerous college scholarship opportunities. Teams are being formed now, and new members are welcome. Call the Golden State Shooting Center for details or visit them online at goldenstateshootingcenter.com.
Baseball's back, and you already know what that means. Fresh stats, new stars, and huge opportunities with me, Rhino, on America's #1 daily fantasy site, Prize Picks. One of my favorite things about Prize Picks is you can mix and match players from across over 100 different sports, whether it's the college basketball championships, pro basketball playoffs, or even the upcoming golf majors. Prize Picks has an opportunity for you. It's simple. Choose 2 to 6 players, pick more or less on their stat projections, and let them win the night for you. Download the Prize Picks app today using the code Rhino50 to get $50 in free lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Rhino, RYNO50, to get $50 in free lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Join my community. Find your community. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
Brad Gazan, on Atlanta United, we know everyone has a ritual, a habit we never skip, to clear our minds and elevate our performance. But what do you do to keep your head in the game? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body. It's about taking care of your mind and mental health. Discover the resources you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Find resources at georgia.loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and the Ad Council.
You know, when you come to work and you do a show, you have an idea what you want to talk about. You know the topics that are current, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of the show, you get a polarizing, famous figure like Tiger Woods that comes out and makes a statement. And then I have on a guest like Sean Salisbury, who I've known for a number of years. And the in-depth conversations that I have had with Sean are, they make your hair stand on your arm. The story about Russell on the podcast that I did with him back in 2020 or 2021 was so impactful to another individual that individual sent me a direct message on Twitter. And I'm paraphrasing, but basically said that they were at rock bottom. He was at rock bottom and was basically thinking of ending it. And after hearing Sean's story about what he went through and about sharing the story about Russell, that it gave him hope. And so when you see a Gary Woodland and what he went through, and now we have a Tiger Woods coming out and saying, I need help and I'm going to get treatment, it can make an individual that is all alone not feel as alone. And Sean did that again today. I guarantee you there are individuals that are listening to this show right now that have a new degree of hope, renewed hope about their present situation, that a guy that had less than 50 cents in the bank and that was living in a vehicle and basically had nothing, was at rock bottom, has now come out through the dark, dark tunnel into a bright light, such as what Gary Woodland just did, although he still has the demons that he is going to have to go through and face. And Tiger will have to do the same thing. I'm 66. I hope I have many years left. I don't know. I've yet to meet a perfect person. Haven't done it yet. Now, I see a lot of people that appear to be perfect on social media. I see those individuals every day, but I don't know if they're real or not. I read sometimes what they post and how they condemn and how they criticize. They're perfect. They're perfect. I've never met them in real life, but they're perfect. They want to condemn an entire group of employees, such as major league umpires, because they're not 100% perfect. How much of this has to do with gambling? How much of it has to do with the fact that you're just miserable as a person? How much of it has to do with the fact that you're going through a problem and you're just vindictive and you're just want to spew venom? There's that too. We live in a crazy world and there are a lot of issues going on, but you don't get any more real than Sean Salisbury. You don't get any more real than that. And he's very open, has always been very open. His story that he told me on my podcast 5 years ago about picking up Russell on a highway on Christmas morning in Texas, and everything that transpired from that moment on is unbelievable. And we always talk about like the power of this medium, like a live show like this and many other live shows that are impactful. Listening to Sean Salisbury, to me, is impactful. Talking to Ryan Anderson from Oak Ridge High School, from El Dorado Hills, former NBA player. Talking to Ryan Anderson about his experiences while playing for the New Orleans Pelicans and his infamous girlfriend, I think fiance at the time, who committed suicide, the star on The Bachelorette, and the impact that Monty Williams and Monty's wife then had on him on that night was such an unbelievable story. And then fast forward to Monty Williams losing his wife in an automobile accident. And Ryan then being there for Monty. After Ryan talked about the impact that Monty Williams and his wife had on him on that particular evening, the same evening that he walked in and saw that his girlfriend had committed suicide, and getting through that. And I've been very open about telling the story of me interviewing Ryan Anderson courtside before the game. And he was talking about all of this. And before the game, I'm over at the side of the floor opposite the scores table where I broadcast my games from. And an individual comes up to me teary-eyed and says, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" I said, "Sure." And he said, "I just wanted to tell you that that interview that you had with Ryan today," and I mean this in all sincerity, I think we saved his life. He was suicidal. He was thinking of ending it all. And then he came up to me and said, "Do you think there's any way I can meet Ryan?" I said, "I will make sure it happens." And when Ryan then walked back out onto the floor, I went up to him real quickly. And he said, "Absolutely." And they talked. And I believe that that interview that day changed the future of that one person, and maybe more, that I didn't even know about. So I've always said this, and I don't want to get too dramatic here, but the power of live radio or an interview somewhere or whatever, you don't really understand how profound someone's words can be. You don't really understand the impact that an interview can have on somebody that's going through a really difficult time. Because I do a radio show in a studio, and there's only one person, and they're not even in the same room, and it's Ryan. I'm talking to four walls, looking into a camera and talking into a microphone. I have no way of knowing who's listening, how many people are listening, what they're doing, what their lives are like, whether they're down and out, whether they're at rock bottom, whether they just won the lottery, whether they're getting married this weekend, whether they just got divorced, whether they lost a loved one in an accident, whether their house burned down, whatever. What I do know is there's nobody listening to this radio show right now that's perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. And when you can get a guest on like Sean Salisbury, who was a big-time quarterback at USC and in the NFL, and truly had, I think, one of the greatest segments ever on ESPN SportsCenter called Four Downs with John Clayton, and then to lose all of that and lose everything that you have, everything, and then be transparent about it, be humble about it, be just always willing to talk about it with the notion and the goal in mind that maybe if I talk about my issues and my struggles with me being this famous sports figure on ESPN and a former NFL quarterback and a former quarterback at USC, and I'm on my high and mighty horse, I've got a great life, and then it's gone, and I talk about what it was like, as Sean has done, and you help out others, what a blessing it is to be able to do this. And I'm so grateful when I read the text messages and listen to how impactful the interview I just had with Sean. Somebody said, can you say who Russell is? Yes, in a nutshell, Russell is an individual that was homeless, and Sean was on a Dallas freeway and saw this individual with a duffel bag, and it was on Christmas Day. And Sean drove past this individual and was thinking about him and kept driving and driving. And then somehow something in his mind said, I need to go back. And so he waited to get off the exit, turned around, didn't even know if Russell or this individual would still be there. And he was, and he at first was just going to give him a $100 bill. And Sean was very open. He goes, I didn't really even have $100 to spend, but I'm like, you know what? It's Christmas. This guy's in the cold. He's homeless. And then he was like, I would drive away, and I stopped, and I'm like, where are you heading? And Sean told the story about getting in, and he goes, you know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about, gee, is this guy going to smell? Is it going to be, and he goes, I couldn't believe that I'm actually thinking about this. Here's a man that's homeless on Christmas Day. Long story short, Sean was able to become really good friends with him, got his teeth fixed, got him a new ID, got his life on track, got him a job. Lived with Sean for a period of time. It's an amazing story. I wouldn't do that. Would you do that? Let's just be honest with yourself for a moment. I've given homeless people money before, but I've never gone up to a homeless person and said, hey, you want to come with me? Where are you going? I've seen homeless people driving in my car. Have I ever stopped and said, hey, where are you going? Come on, get in. I'll drive you there. Have you ever done that? I've never done that. I've given, as I said, money to homeless people. But what does that do? And I don't mean that to be slight, but I mean, like, Sean just changed somebody's life. He changed an individual's life. And I ask you, would you do that? I'm being very transparent with you. I wouldn't do that. If I saw an individual on the side of the highway, Charles Barkley's done that. Scott Brooks told me. There are individuals that are very special, that go above and beyond. I've tried to help out people in other ways, and I'm very proud of that. And it's really fulfilled my heart, but I've never done what Sean's done. It's an amazing story. We'll get to your phone calls at 916-779-0929 if you want to call the show, or you can text the show, the same number, as we've got one segment left on what has been a very impactful hour of the Grant Napear Show on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Are you or do you know a veteran or a family in need of a heating or air conditioning unit? If so, go now to dasmechanical.org and nominate yourself or someone you know to receive one, with installation being donated by our neighbors at DAS Mechanical. We all know this past year has been tough for some in our community. Nick Delancey and his DAS family want to give back, and they're excited to give back, just like this, to help out a veteran or family in need. It's very simple to enter. Go to dasmechanical.org. Click the 2026 HVAC System Donation tab and fill out a very short 6-question nomination form. That's dasmechanical.org. Click the 2026 HVAC System Donation tab and fill out the short form. DAS Mechanical, family owned and proudly serving our community for years. Nominate now at dasmechanical.org. That's dasmechanical.org.
Decisions determine results. So which path do I want to take? Help people in need or stand on the sidelines watching? Worry about how to pay for school or have my education paid for? Push myself and learn new skills or stay the same? My decision is to serve part-time with the Army National Guard, and my results will be life-changing. What will you decide? Go to NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service.
Sponsored by the California Army National Guard. Aired by the California Broadcasters.
Get the best. Bridgestone tires are engineered to keep your world moving, and that's what really matters. Now through March 31st, buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires and get $80 back on a Bridgestone prepaid MasterCard. Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. For the best selection in Bridgestone tires, get to Express Tires at 7215 Watt Avenue in Sacramento. Express Tires. Save big and get their 60-minute install guarantee. Get to Express Tires at 7215 Watt Avenue now. Express Tires.
Jackson Rancheria. Let's go. Jackson. Grab your old jeans and flick a lighter, because Jackson's gonna be rockin' with Journey Revisited, a tribute to Journey, live April 18th. Get tickets now at jackson.com. Jackson Rancheria. Let's go. While you're there, make sure to check out our full tribute series lineup honoring your favorite classic rockers, the Eagles, Lynyrd Skynyrd, CCR, and more. Let's go. Let's go. If that's not enough, we're giving away $1,000 in free slot play Tuesdays. Just play slots with your Dreamcatcher's club card, have a valid email address on file, and you'll be automatically entered to win 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Let's go. Let's go. Luck out with cash and play at Jackson. Jackson. Let's go.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Back with you on the final segment. Fox Sports Sacramento. Appreciate all the messages. 916-779-0929. This says, thank you. Yes, amazing. I've never done that. That would be something I hope to be moved to do. Lord would be willing, but will I? You know, you can help out people in many ways. There are many, many ways you can change someone's life. And it really doesn't take much, to be honest with you. Really fascinating stuff. Ryan, every time I talk to Sean, and I'm so blessed, we're so blessed that we have him each and every week, not only during the football season. And the reason I say that is he's so transparent. He's so, I guess he's not afraid to put it out there on the line. He's not afraid to criticize. He's not afraid to love. He's not afraid to call out people. He's I guess the word is real. He's so real,
Yeah, and let me kind of take you behind the curtain for people listening. We don't give Sean a list of topics that we're
No.
going to talk about. He has no idea what we've been saying the first 2 hours.
No.
So you are getting the first thoughts and feelings from him when you two, there's something about you two when you guys come together that just, it hits different. I've been blessed to hear that story a couple of times about Russell. I remember the shows that we've done on YouTube about the dogs that, they saved. I mean, he's just salt of the earth. He's what you see is what you get. What you hear is exactly who he is.
And it never gets old, even if you hear the same
No.
story every year, or whether it's Thanksgiving or the holidays, and we reminisce about things. It just never gets old. It's just unbelievable. And there's always new people that are listening for the first time that haven't heard the story. It's so impactful.
Hugely. Absolutely hugely. And, I think you just said it perfectly to the message. You don't have to pick somebody up in your car. Just say hi to somebody. Just start there. You don't know what a hi could do for somebody that you don't know.
Yeah, very true. Appreciate all the messages coming in at 7790929, Napes and Rhino. Don't forget tomorrow, as we do talk a little sports, the Kings are wrapping up a road trip. All right, so let's get back to sports for a couple of moments. Here's my your bold prediction of the day, because you love doing these. Will the Kings win another game this year?
Yes.
Okay.
They will.
Will
They'll
they
win one
win
more.
more than one?
No.
So they'll win one game.
They will win one game.
By the way, the Nets are down at the half 58-45. So they're down by 13 at the break. I'm forecasting that they're going to lose.
I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to double down on your bold question with this. It might be tomorrow night.
There's no way.
I think tomorrow night they might win.
Why?
They've done it before on getaway games. You've got the ingredients. If DeMar's going to play, Monk's going to play. You're not going to have Daquan Jeffries, which means more playing time for some of the other guys. I could just see it. Toronto's a special place for DeMar.
That's very true. It is.
I think, this team at points has rallied around certain personalities in certain cities and situations, and I could just see them doing that with DeMar tomorrow night.
Don't forget, post-game show tomorrow right after the game with, I don't think you're going to be, are you going to be able to do the post-game show, or are you going to the Stockton game?
I'm going to be in Stockton, but I'm going to try my best to
All right.
at least join
Well,
you. So
whatever.
I can talk about Stockton as well, because that's
Okay,
important.
whatever. So
Okay.
if you're with us, great. And if not, we'll catch you the next game. The A's have put 5 on the board, Rhino, and they lead in the 6th, 5-2 at Atlanta.
How about that?
Yeah.
Just what Dr. Napes ordered.
Yeah. Get some runs, 6 hits, 5 runs, still a ways to go. The top of the 6th with that game going on in Atlanta. A matinee tomorrow, and then they fly back home for the opener. I'm glad the opener's not today. The weather's a little iffy out there today, so I'm glad it's not today.
Yeah,
That's
but
for
it
sure.
wasn't that humid, so
No.
It
Yeah,
was,
well, and
it was
I
good.
always worry about the humidity for you. That is, for me, it's the number one thing that I look at every day. I'm like, gee, that's Sacramento humidity. How's Ryan going to do?
Hey, it's real. The struggle's real, Napes.
Yeah, by the way, the weather on Friday, a high of 74 and a low of 48, and only 36% humidity. Are you going to be okay?
Yeah,
for the
that's
for the weather on
beautiful.
Friday for the home opener?
Yeah, that's almost lunch on the patio weather.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Lunch on the patio. Wow, lunch on the patio. That sounds good.
I mean,
That sounds good.
That's how you usually eat lunch, especially when you lived in Miami. Why would you eat inside?
I never did eat inside
Yeah.
in Miami. Never. When I'm in Florida, I'm always eating outside. Always. Yes. Unless it's hurricane season and there are hurricanes coming through. And I don't normally eat outside during that particular point in time.
Probably not the best idea.
Not the best idea. It's not recommended.
Have you seen the video of the guy online? It's actually a really funny video. It's not AI. It's just it's pouring cats and dogs, and he's sitting at his little Italian table that's in his backyard. He's got his pasta, and he's got his wine, and he's just carrying on. There's the pouring rain, the water's going in the wine.
I was watching some video from Scotland as the golf season has begun, and there are some individuals out there in a wind rainstorm where the ball won't even stay on the tee, and they've got their rain gear on, and the wind they can't even get in a stance to hit the ball, but they're still out there playing golf. I'm like, that's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
I love that. That's great.
Maybe not to that degree, but if you're a golfer, we've all tried to play golf in conditions at some point that just don't work out.
The only conditions that you can't play golf in for all is lightning, and that's you don't even mess around with that.
Yeah.
You get off the golf course. You get off the golf course. The most famous line Lee Trevino said, "Just take your 1-iron and hold it in the air. Even God can't hit a 1-iron." So,
of course, Lee Trevino.
This is his greatest line. Hey, if there's lightning on a golf course, take a 1-iron out and hold it in the air. And not even God can hit a 1-iron. Is that a classic or what?
That's a classic.
Yeah.
I used to love going out to the Gold Rush tournament at Rancho Marietta as a kid and seeing the seniors out there.
My first event that I ever covered in Sacramento. I had only been in town a week, and it was my first time out of the station covering an event. And I go to Rancho Murrieta, and one of the great thrills of my life is I had an interview on the putting green at Rancho Murrieta with the legendary Sam Snead.
Wow.
And Sam's got the fedora on, and I'm interviewing Sam, and I couldn't wait to get home to call my dad. And when I called him, I go, "Dad, you're not going to believe who I interviewed today." I said, "It was golf. Take a guess." He goes, "Arnold Palmer." I go, "Well, I did, but that's not who I'm talking about." I go, "Sam Snead." He could not believe that I had an interview with Sam Snead. And to this day, it's like my welcome to Sacramento moment that I'm on the putting green
so cool.
interviewing Sam Snead.
It's too bad technology had not caught up then. You could have shot him just a quick file.
I used to love covering that event annually. And then they moved it to Serrano for a number of years. The Chi Rodriguez, such an entertainer. But, Arnold Palmer playing on the senior tour. It's now called the Champions Tour.
Yeah.
And all the great golfers. It was so much fun. It was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
indeed.
loved it. Yeah. I'm sorry that Sacramento lost that event because it was just, I don't know. I thought it was a fabric of the community every year. I thought it was great. Phenomenal. On the North Course at Rancho Murrieta. What a great, great event that was. But yeah, that was my first event that I ever covered in Sacramento. And it's one that I'll always remember. And I met a lot of the sports anchors on the other stations that week. I met John Hank from Channel 13, who ended up being a good friend of mine. He's in Minneapolis now. Tom Curran, who ended up being a great friend of mine, worked with Tom, and he has recently passed from his bout with Parkinson's, and couldn't believe it when we lost him last year. But so many others out there, the Creighton Sanders, back then Bob Hogue, right, of KCRA, and Stuart Sato was out there, and Jim Crandall. I met Jim that week. I mean, think about all of those long-time sports fixtures in Sacramento, right? Creighton Sanders was, and he was towards the end of his career. And then Bob Hogue was a great guy. Stewart's a great guy. All these people are great. Jim Crandall, great guy. Yeah, great. That was a lot of fun. So that was my first week in Sacramento covering that event and meeting everyone for the first time. It was a great lot of fun.
Day. What a day.
It was great. It was my welcome basically to Sacramento, and it was like meeting everyone. And nobody watched Channel 31, so nobody knew who I was.
No, but that's one of those
Yeah.
moments though when you're meeting everybody else for the first time.
Yeah, it was great. The only reason why they knew who I was is the Channel 31 photog with me. There's the Channel 31 logo on the camera. That's the only reason they would know me.
Hey,
it's the truth.
I get it. I had Fox Sports across my chest at Media Day. So
yeah, hey, I'm with you. I always remember going out with Walt Gray at night. Walt was a dear friend of mine, and he was the sports director at KCRA, and we'd go out to dinner almost every night. There's only two choices. It was either TGIF Fridays or Peppermill. We would always be at Fridays. And then we'd go out after his late show on Friday or Saturday night, and people would always come up to Walt, and I'd be sitting there, and nobody would ever come up to me and go, "Hey, you're the guy on Channel 30." No, nobody ever watched. So I'm like, until I started doing the Kings games, nobody knew who I was. Nobody.
That's all right.
I'm like, man, Walt, nobody watches me. Everybody knows you. He's like, don't worry, Nate, you'll be good. Just hang in there. I'm like, nobody even knows me when we go out. I'm like, that's not good. Yeah, when you're on TV and nobody recognizes you, that's not good. I'll tell you what is good. Sean Salisbury, Radio Gold, Mike Pereira, the NFL on Fox. Great show today. Thank you for joining us. Thanks to Ryan in Sacktown. Grant Napear, appreciate your support right here on Fox Sports Sacramento. Make it a great evening, everybody. Bye-bye now.
Get the best